Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 10th annual Daytime Emmy Nominations Special. And look who I'm with, Tamara Braun, to kick off the show.
Hey.
Lead actress nominee. Were you were you were you thrilled when you heard the news? I mean, what a group you're in, too.
Of course. I mean, hello. Have you seen the ladies that I'm hanging out with? I mean, you can't complain about that. Holy guacamole. My goodness. I literally think such powerhouses, such committed, wonderful actresses. And some really good people, too. It's awesome.
I mean, they awesome group. But tell me,
Wonderful people. Yeah.
wonderful people. Now, you've won 2 Daytime Emmys
Mm-hmm.
in supporting.
Mm-hmm.
You've not won a lead yet in
Mm-mm.
your career,
Mm-mm.
but you were nominated for lead as Carly, correct?
Mm-hmm.
At General Hospital. I have
110 years ago.
190 years ago. But I remember that year too, because I was like, you had killed it as Carly. It was so heavy in story. And I remember, when you're an actress on a show and they give you everything that you're like,
Yeah.
that's so much. What scenes did you submit this year that landed you the nomination, and why did you choose it?
So this year I chose scenes when I first came back to the show with Steve Burton, so the character Harris, and Ava was in a mental institution, psychiatric institution, and dealing with her mental illness. So the scenes we're talking about that, and talking about the pain of her losing her mind and maybe not being able to get to be okay. So those were the first. I did a couple scenes about that. And then I had scenes with the character Gil, played by David Lee. He is excellent. And he attacked and tried to physically assault Ava. And in that, I should say, he tried to rape her. And so in that, Ava is able to kind of play him for a moment, get the gun, and then she turns it on him. So, and then there was one scene at the end where it's just Steve and I, Harris again, and Ava in Paris, just kind of light and silly. Because I thought it would be, it's nice to have a variety.
Right. So it was kind of an art, or kind of just showed variances of her.
Yes, that's right.
He's such a difficult on paper character to play because she's had such history, so many troubled. She's got a mob past, a crazy past, her son, so many things. Is it, I'm assuming, because I know you love it, it brings more of a challenge to get to do all that. But do you ever get to the point where like, okay, how am I going to make this work now? I don't.
Always. I think that's like what happens to all of us in this genre, right? Because we are given extreme situations. And, we who are lucky enough to get to play such layered and kind of at times outrageous characters, I think we all go, oh my gosh, how do we do this? But you figure it out. For me, I try and figure out where the truth is. To me, it's always about going back to the truth. These are these are humans we're playing, right? We're not playing robots. We're not playing, I don't know, monsters or something. But I guess if I was playing those things, I'd want to find the heart and the truth as well. But these are real people, and with real struggles and real challenges. And so I think it's important to remember we are not perfect. We do crazy things in life. We get into situations that we don't know how to handle, and we just do our best. So I think that's kind of the same approach that I take,
How much did Steve Burton and you, which was so wonderful to see the two of you together on days in two different roles, and you guys work well together, I would say.
Yes.
What was he helpful in pulling out any performance in you, or vice versa? Did you just feel like you guys clicked?
I just feel like, we do have a history of working together. And so I think we just kind of naturally fell back into, not into, the history of the characters we were before, but this new, these new characters that we were playing together. And I just think that, when you know somebody and you've worked with them in the past, it's easier sometimes, because you kind of have that, it's kind of flows naturally.
So fans are saying, D.L. Bridges, Tamara Braun was so good as Reese on All My Children. Tamara Braun picked a great reel.
As Reese?
No.
No.
As now. This reel.
Okay, because I was like, I don't think Reese had a reel. Did she?
And then Freeman Griffin is saying one of her sons, Mike Manning, is nominated for the Bay. Yes.
I know.
He will be with us later tonight.
Yay! I love him so much.
Right? You guys worked so well together. You guys worked so well together too.
Oh, yes, we did. And I love him to death. And I found out about the nominees today kind of late, and I got so excited. I was like, oh, and I had a call that I had to get on. I had nothing to do with any of this, but it was I was like, oh my God, I lost my mind on a text, and I was like, I would be calling you right now. I said, except I got to jump on a call. But I was like, is this a mother-son sort of thing? Even though I know it's two different shows, but I always talk to him and call him my son because I adore him.
Now
I'm so happy for him.
We have to wish you happy belated birthday.
Thank
Candace
you.
Mack is wishing you happy birthday to you.
Thank
and I know, so what was your birthday like? It was the other day.
Yesterday? It was yesterday. It was, yeah. So I had plans to go to a Korean spa with my girlfriends and then have dinner. And I 2 days before I got sick. So my stomach attacked me. And so I had to cancel, and I was at home in pain with a hot water bottle, kind of just not doing anything. And but this was a really beautiful, beautiful birthday gift that I got. So it made it better.
So when you heard you were nominated, where were you?
On my couch with a hot water bottle. and Andrea from our show, PR, yep, she called. And I saw her call, and I was like, oh no, I didn't do that interview I was supposed to do, because there's been a lot of kind of stuff going on, and I didn't get to it yet. And I was like, oh crud. So I answered the phone. I was like, hi. She's like, hi. It's like, she goes, do you know why I'm calling? I was like, she's like, you were nominated. And I was like, I think she said, do you know what I don't remember, but like, I didn't know that the nominations were coming out, and I just had no idea. And it's just like, you're nominated. And I started crying.
I was so happy for you. And you made the decision this year to go into lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the decision on that, since you've played this game before and you've won a couple times? How do you decide? Is it?
I asked, what I should go into, and I was told, so I did it. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes you just need some help. So that's what I did. I did what was suggested to me in terms of where I was and where I should fit. And so that's what I did.
Landon is asking you, Tamara, does it still give you butterflies and a bundle of nerves, even though you won Emmys before?
Oh, you mean like being there?
I think or does it still give you butterflies and nerves that you've won 2 Emmys, just being nominated again and going through it? Is it still exciting? Does it give you?
Being nominated, there's no like butterfly, because for me, butterflies are the nerves. There's no nerves of being nominated. It's just pure joy and gratitude for me in terms of that. Like whatever happens, whoever the golden lady goes to, I mean, any one of us, it's worthy for. I mean, like that's not the ultimate goal. It just is what, it's icing on the cake. so the nomination is for me just pure joy, and it's gratitude, and it was a real gift for me right now in my life.
Yeah, and in closing on it, it was amazing to see Finola, you, Catherine Kelly Lang. It was like, right? It's like
Michelle, Annika. I mean,
I was like, yeah, I was like,
I know,
kind of a great group. I do have to say. I mean, people can all have their picks. Cynthia Watchers.
Oh yes, and I was going to say, wait, who are we missing?
Cynthia.
Okay, hello.
Yes. Come on.
When I was back on GH a couple of years ago, Cynthia came on, and I remember being in my dressing room and watching her work, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, like she's beautiful, but everyone does a beautiful job, but I never got to work with her. Our characters didn't really cross paths, but she's just so lovely.
So now what happens with the dress picking out thing? Are you like into the fashion of it all, or are you like, oh God, now I have to figure out something to wear?
Both. So normally I just procrastinate and wait till the last minute and then beat myself up for stressing. And so this year I'm not doing that. And it's important to me to try and find something that lines up with my values. And so I hope that, I can do that and have a good time, sometimes I don't know why. Sometimes I just don't prepare.
I try to prepare and I get the outfit and I figure it all out. And then it never seems at the last minute what I planned for something went wrong.
But it's good to have a second outfit.
And I always have the one and not the second backup, because for me, being short and my size, they have to like do tons of alterations to get me in pants and suit.
So then you have to prepare.
I have to, because nothing will fit normally.
Just stepping into it. Well, yeah, and nothing generally I don't think does fit normally. Like, you can do jeans, you can do t-shirts, you can do things like that and just step into it. But when you're stepping out and dressing up, you need a little tailoring, because that's the way things, end up looking really great. But it's funny that talking about, clothing and fashion, because I do love it. But years ago when I was I think it was for lead. Yeah, I think it was for lead all those years ago. I had a dress, and then something happened and it didn't work. And so at the last minute, Cynthia Preston had met somebody the night before. I love Cynthia. Cindy, my girl. So she had met somebody the night before when we were out in New York. And he's like, what are you wearing? She's like, oh, I'm just wearing this dress from the show. He's like, no, you're not. What? She's like, no, I'm just here, And he goes, no. He made a call and he goes, I'm getting dresses and diamonds. And she's like, what? And she tells me, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And she's like, well, so the next day he brings over to the hotel dresses and diamonds. And he's like, what are you wearing? I was like, I'm wearing this. I put it on and something happened to it. It like ripped in the seam. It wasn't fitting. I was like, oh, he's like, what do you want? Pick something here. Cause he had brought a whole bunch and Cindy had already picked. And so I was like, that would be great. Can I try that? So it all got changed at the last minute. Talk about, I try to be prepared.
Well, we'll have to get together. We'll have to check in with each other closer to the Emmys if we've got our outfits together.
I know. And we might need backup. So, lesson learned, right? Be prepared and have backup in case. This is not my tail. If you see a tail here, my dog. I just saw something in the back. I was like, what is coming up?
All right, Tamara, thank you so much for
kicking
off our nomination special, the 10th annual. Wonderful news that you were nominated lead actress. So many people here love you. And we will see you soon.
Yeah, have fun and say hello to everybody for me. I'm just so happy for everybody. It's just a joyful time. It's good to be happy.
Right. Feel better and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
look who's here. Allison Lanier of the
Hi.
Hey, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And
Thank you for having me.
congratulations on your supporting actress nomination. I mean, come on. What was your reaction? This was a big news.
Yeah, very big news. I was honestly shocked. I just thought, I'm going to submit because I had some material that I was proud of, but I thought, oh, there's absolutely no way. And so I just kind of put it out of my brain, and I completely floored.
Well, so where were you today? How did you find out, and what did you do?
Well, it was kind of funny. So because I was just like totally put it out of my brain, I was just not thinking about it. It worked out because I was also working. I was first up today. So I was on stage at 9 a.m. I think it was when everything was announced. So didn't have my phone on me, no idea. And I was doing these scenes with Connor Floyd. And when we finished the set, I saw Josh Griffith out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, wait, he's not usually down here. And I was like, are we in trouble? Like, what's going on? And then as he approached and it was like a happy demeanor, I was like, what? No. It was really cute.
So tell me about the scenes you submitted, and what did you choose, and why did you decide to go with it? That's what everybody always wants to know, right? So
this is my first year doing this, so it was all brand new to me. So I feel like I had an idea of what could have happened, and I was lucky that I got a lot of material last year, with my whole mom faking her death storyline.
Faking her death.
Yeah, I got a lot of really good material from that. But I Matt might have killed me, but at first I created something that was like literally 30 minutes long. I was like, I just want to see. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, these are the standouts. So what ended up on there was like Summer confronting Diane directly after the gala, after Phyllis, died. And so there's two scenes of Summer confronting Diane, and Jack and Kyle are also there, and it's just this kind of heartbreaking moment of anger mixed with pain and grief. Then I included the scene where Kyle informs Summer that it is time for a divorce, in her hotel suite where she lives.
I remember, yeah.
And that was like kind of a more subdued moment because they both sort of knew
it wasn't working.
That was coming, that was already after he had slept with Audra and all this.
Oh, that.
Yeah. And then there was I had one with Grozade, after their, after Summer knew that Phyllis was alive. And then I had another one with Michelle Stafford, when she found out that Phyllis was alive. Yeah.
So when you look at that, is it an arc you were telling, or did you feel like it was different layers to the character, or what did you like about it that you're like, I'm good with this?
Yeah, I think I focused less on telling the story and more on the actual work that I was doing in each scene and the scene itself and what felt the strongest to me. I actually didn't put them in sequential order. I put them in order of like what, just like felt most relevant to my acting. So I wanted to show a couple different just colors within each of them.
Now, your mom, on-screen mom, Michelle Stafford, also scored a nomination.
Yay!
Have her on a little bit later. Were you in her scenes as well? Do you know?
I think she said I think she said that I was. I think I'm pretty sure. I feel like I am, but because we had so much great stuff together, we really did. I think she told me I at least have one scene in her reel for sure.
Now, you took the ball and ran with it. You know, Hunter King had played the role. You came in and made it your own. Did you feel, was it daunting for you? Or did you just not put that in your sphere to, you know, because now it's your role. It's your role.
I think that it was both and, you know, I think that I'm decent at compartmentalizing. So yes, it was daunting. Like being a recast is daunting. Going on a show, especially, you know, one where we work the way that we do, that's just daunting in and of itself. But yes, I do think that when you're sort of having to follow in somebody's footsteps and they're automatically going to compare you to somebody else, yeah, that's daunting. But I do think that I was able to hold that was happening for me, but also I have to ignore that and I do have to make it my own thing because we're different people, we're bringing different things to the character. That was really the only way forward for me.
So Sherry says, congrats, Allison. So well deserved. Love your work this summer. You are killing it on this current storyline.
Oh,
Alan Brown, excuse me. Allison already has a reel for next year. She has done great work this week. She has done work this week. I mean, we are watching, you know, Summer just gut wrenching over Harrison being kidnapped.
Yeah.
So I guess you're ready for your second nomination.
We'll see.
We've got your reel picked out for you for next.
Yeah, perfect. All right, you guys just write down the episode numbers.
We'll just tell you.
Yeah, perfect.
So did you take a look at the nominees in your category? Are you familiar with their work?
I'm not as familiar with everybody from the other shows quite yet, but I can't wait to get to know them and to see what they're putting out there and watch their episodes and their scenes. It's just so exciting. I mean, everybody is a powerhouse and so incredibly talented. And I mean, Courtney Hope, I am so glad that she is nominated in this category. Like her storyline was so heartbreaking, and the way that her and Mark played that,
brilliant.
I mean, it just like shot me straight in the heart.
Yeah, I remember watching that, just not only crying, but just he was wonderful.
Yeah,
as was she. They were just who's given you the most advice there at Y&R as you traveled on this journey as Summer and now a nominee? Like, is there anyone taking you under their wing?
Yes, I got so lucky, Michael, with who I was working with when I first came on to the show. And of course, everybody's amazing. But I really do think that Susan Walters, Peter Bergman, and Michelle Stafford, like these absolute legends, were so open with me, gave me all kinds of advice, and just like really held me up when I was first starting. And not to mention Michael Mueller. He was kind of the one, like, obviously those guys are legends and have been around for a while, and I look up to them so much. And Michael Mueller, I look up to him too, but he is more of my peer. And so we could talk more on this level, and he really showed me the ropes in like such a personal way. So yeah, those four, I gotta thank them.
We're just talking with Tamara Braun, lead actress nominee. Is getting the outfit and like glamming up, do you love that part of it? Or is it like, oh God, I have to now figure out what I'm going to do? Or do you enjoy it?
A little bit of both. Yeah. It's just same as Tamara. It's a little bit of both. Like, yeah, it's stressful, but it is also fun. So I think, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it all comes together. I definitely don't have a vision in mind yet, but I'm excited to figure it out.
And finally, what happened when did you tell your family? Like, what happened when who did you call?
I called my mom, of course. Yeah. And I've had some phone calls with friends and stuff, and everybody's just so excited and hoping that I get to bring my mom with me, and that'll just be so special.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And we're obviously we're all ready for your next nomination. We're even thinking ahead here.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Love the support. Thank you.
But we will see you at the 51st Annual Daytime Emmy Awards. Enjoy this ride as a first-time Emmy nominee.
Thank you.
And supporting actress is always a tough category to crack.
So many amazing,
So yeah,
amazing actresses. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Have a good night. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye. Look who's here.
Hey, hi. The first person I called was Allison's mom, too, as soon as I found out. No, that's not true, but I will next time.
John McCook. It wouldn't be a Daytime Emmy Nominations Special without to talk to you. This is so nice to see you again. And congrats again. I knew this nomination was coming because we knew that great story that you told last year.
Thank you. I had a great story, and that's the answer to every question you have today. The best thing about it is that I had a great story, and there you go. You know.
I mean, now you won in 2022. Torsten won in 2023 for lead. There's 3 of you now: Scott, Clifton, you, and Torsten.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. 3 out of 5. That's great.
Each other with the Emmy. Like, are you like competitors in this, or is it? Who do you think?
No, I mean we're going to say we are, you know, but we're going to say I hope I never see Torsten again. You know, I say that every day, but none of that's true. No, we're not competitors. We relish the time we get to spend on camera together in the studio, in our dressing rooms. We enjoy each other so much, Torsten and me. And I love Scott, and I love how funny he is and how smart and how creative. And so, no, we're not competitive at all. This is really wonderful. Thinking of Eric Braeden across the hall, you know, he's such a titan, you know, he's just the titan of daytime. And so I think he's quite wonderful, you know, and Eric, the other Eric is someone I don't know very well, but he tells me that I beat him out 2 years ago and he's going to get back at me this year. So I look forward to that.
I was going to say, what scenes did you submit that landed you the nomination? Because I just remember watching the whole arc going, oh my God, there's this scene John could pick and this scene. Like, I just thought there was really good material for you.
Well, there was a whole, 6 or 8 months of good material. Thank goodness. Thank you, Brad, and all the writers. Thank you. I guess it's important. I think Allison was saying this. I'm not sure. I didn't watch her whole, but at the end, I think she was saying that it's important that you show people an arc, a story. You know, you're people are watching you in these submission tapes who don't watch you on your show. They don't know your character. They don't know your relationships the way your fans do. So you could do something cute that your fans would think was really wonderful, or something small and dramatic that your fans would really love. But someone who didn't know you well wouldn't be affected by that. So you have to tell the story. So I picked a small scene at the end of one of the scenes where Eric was relishing being back behind his desk at Forrester and talking to his son Ridge, and Ridge knew that Eric was dying, but Eric doesn't know that he knows. And so Ridge is hiding that from his father and saying, I love you, Dad. And he's going, yeah, I know. I love you too. And we're just kind of going over it, but he wants to say something really rich to Eric, and Eric doesn't need to have him say that right now. And then with the stapler was there, and it's, I love you, son. And it's a nice hug. So we go from that to Eric being at home with his hand shaking and scared about dying. And he said how scared he was to Donna. He really admits to her, I'm scared. And he collapses at that point. It's his most physically weak in the whole story. And then the next was the scene at the party when he is saying to everyone, I love this man too. I love you all, but I love this man too. He's a wonderful father and son, but he's not the best designer. I'm the best designer. And of course, then I realized that he was lying to me and that he told me I won. And I couldn't understand why at first. And then I did. And that was a great realization. And then for Eric to say, thank you. That was a very nice thing you did for me. and then I love you, and he falls to the floor and he dies. You know.
I mean, the father-son relationship in those scenes between you and Torsten, right? I mean, they were so touching.
Well,
I
we
mean,
love those scenes. You know, he and I are very much into that in our real lives. You know, it's very much a deep emotional well for both of us. So for us to be able to touch that and reach into that for the two of us it's wonderful to be able to play that. Yes, thank you for that. That's a compliment.
And so you knew all along that, of course, he wasn't going to die. So is going through the whole thing easier to do or hard to do? Like, you know what's going to happen. So how, like, to play the beats of it? Did you almost wish you didn't know what was really going to happen?
Well, almost, except not in this case, because if I, you know, I told Brad when I first read the script, I told him it's like a Saturday Night Live sketch. You know, an aging soap star turns the page of a script for next week, and it says Eric coughs up blood into his handkerchief. You know, and it's like calling his agent immediately and saying, "What's the word on the street?" You know, right away you're worried about the reality of. Am I going to survive this storyline? And of course, Brad and I talked many times through the months as we went through the beats of this story. And I was assured, and I knew that I wasn't going to die. And the word Christmas miracle was tossed around, and we went, okay, that's fine. So now I can play this without worrying. I put something on the screen. I don't want to be there. Now I don't have to worry about that. So I can play the moment. And the important thing for any actor is not to play the end of the story. You need to play the moments that are there. And so the richness of this was that the great story arc for Eric Forrester and for John McCook to play was there. But within it, there are wonderful stories of the father-son relationship, a wonderful new relationship with CJ, with Eric's grandson coming back, Ridge's son, and coming back into the Forrester fold from being out in the world, in the internet world, and discovering fashion design for himself, to watch that bloom and blossom. And then the love story between Eric and Donna was also a very specific and separated story that she and I could tell and explore. Within this big story arc, we had all these smaller ones. So there was no need to be playing the end or to be afraid of it. You know, it was great.
Do you think this was perhaps the 37 years the greatest story you've had?
I think the greatest script I have any day is the next one I'm going to do. And so I think that, yeah, sure, this is the greatest story because it's one I just did. And I'm going to love the story I get next, you know? Yeah, I think this was a great story for me.
I think
at my age, you know.
Yeah. And I have so many people here. I want to share some things. Rodelli St. John was incredible in Eric Stein's storyline. ARR72, the dying storyline was marvelously done. And then AE is like, I'm voting for the stapler.
Yeah, of course. The stapler that says
the stapler. Did you laugh about the stapler, or was it because it became this thing?
It was very funny. Every scene was about that. Where's the stapler? Oh, there it is. You know, that's my stapler. That was here the very first day. I'm going to be saying that forever, you know. Oh, my God. We've had lots of fun with this, too. You
have to add. And what about I want to know what happened when you guys taped the fashion showdown episodes, too. Like, did you guys have a lot of laughs through that, or was that all? Because, you know, he's in there and the models are coming out and...
Well, you know, I have to tell you, this is a, you know, sort of inside show business thing, but I had COVID the days we were shooting. I was out. I was off the show, and I couldn't be there for those days. And we went, oh, my God. And we were, you know, looking at stuff, and
that's right,
the directors and producers and everybody. And then we decided, well, it's okay because Eric's not going to be on the stage. It wasn't written that I was on the stage in front of everybody. So we were able to do these scenes in the wings with Eric and Ridge. Looking out and seeing it, even though we weren't doing that. Just goes out of sequence. So it was really beautiful, wasn't it? It was really pretty, and I wasn't there I didn't have to sit there through those days of production. God knows. it's kind of the way you would shoot a film, I guess. But anyway, that was very cool that we were able to do all that. We had great fun in the hospital. I have to tell you this, with Jackie McGinnis Wood.
Of course. She's so fun.
You know, everybody pulling up their stool to the dying man's bed and working on their Emmy reel. We always say that. That's funny. But it was her turn, and she came over to the bed, and she sat down, and she pulled forward to get closer to me, and her foot hit the switch on the floor to make the bed rise up. You know, so I'm like this, and all of a sudden it's like this, you know, and it's going, don't put your feet on that. Well, we started laughing. It was very hard for us to get back into it.
She accidentally did that, or
yes, accidentally she hit it. So Eric's jerking up and going, "Yes, can I help you?" You know. So that was pretty much fun. We have, I cannot tell you how much I cherish the joy and the fun that we have shooting our shows. I think it's true of any group of us in any of the soaps, that there's great joy in what we get to do, no matter how demanding the day is, and no matter how stressful the executing the scenes may be. At the end of the day, or even right in the middle of it, it's such a joy to be an actor and to work with actors and actresses of the same mind, and to be to share our dependence on each other, and to share that vulnerability with each other that we need to do when we're doing scenes. And so laughter is very much a big part of the relationships that we share there from year to year. And I'm so grateful for that.
I want to ask you about a couple other nominations. Jennifer Gareis received a supporting actress nomination. She had to have scenes with you in there. What did you think about when Jennifer got nominated, and did you talk to her?
I've spoken to her. I texted her today. We haven't gotten to talk. I'm so proud that she was nominated, and I'm pretty sure she probably submitted. Oh, in fact, I know, because I saw it. I'm forgetting now. I saw that she had a beautiful scenes with me, with Eric. These were, she really rose to the occasion this year in a way that was very satisfying for me to see. You know, she's been such a blonde bombshell for all of her years as an actor, and she has turned the pages and opened this up, and really embraced trying to become this woman instead of this girl person. And she's done a great job, and I'm very glad that she got nominated. I'm very proud of her.
And then Catherine Kelly Lang gets a lead actress, and Annika Noel.
Yeah, well, listen to them. You know, okay. Annika, I love what Annika's done with Hope. Hope since,
yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, right now, I mean, we're talking about stuff that we've seen for the last 6 months, but she has opened Hope, the character that she plays. She's opened her up, and there's a womanhood in Hope that and a steely center that we haven't seen before, and it's quite fascinating to see, and I'm very happy to see Annika doing that. Catherine Kelly Lang. Kelly is, you know, she can cry over a cup of coffee if you want her to.
I know, you can just cry.
And it's just a joke to say that. I mean, that really sort of cheapens what one of her skills is. But what I love is that she submitted some very aggressive, confrontational scenes with Brooke and Taylor. And when I wrote to her, I said, I love your scenes. And I put, like the old days. The scenes were very aggressive and confrontational, like we used to have when Flannery was there, and like we were writing the first 10 and 15 years of the show for Kelly, for Brooke. And Brooke has become, she's softened as we've gone along. And I'm looking very much forward to them letting her play more aggressive storyline. I hope that happens.
Yeah.
I'm very proud for the two of them to be up there.
And Ashley Jones
Yeah,
as your doctor.
It's funny, guest, special guest. Yeah, that's great that she got herself in there. I also love that Allie Mills is there again. I love that Allie's there. It makes me laugh so much. But it's really fun that Ashley's in there. Yeah, cool.
Cool. When you won in 2022, does it take the onus off wanting to win so bad again, or how do you, or it doesn't matter? It's like, I want to be, you don't care.
Well, no, it's not an onus wanting to win. I mean, you want to win because you get nominated. You go, okay, cool. It'd be great to get another one. I'd like to have as many as you have behind you in the set there. I'd like to have 6. I went to an event at Heather Tom's house a few months ago, and on her grand piano, as you come into the house, there's like 4 or 5 Emmys sitting there. They go, that's nice. Now that's impressive. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Anyway, no, the act, it's an honor just to be nominated is true, and it's really fun to be in this group of the 5 men nominated in this category, and it's not competitive. It's honor. It's 5 honors, and it's really lovely. So I would love to win this for this story, because of the story, not for me, but because of the story. I think it was strong and merits a lot of recognition for the writers, if nothing else.
Right, and isn't it nice that they show a mature story of an older person on a soap, and they take it. A lot of times they don't do that.
It's very, yeah. Well, Brad. Brad's from the old school, as we know. I mean, he's from the Bell Phillips school of soap opera writing and creating, and they have always honored and respected the older characters, and the through line of what happens with family as characters grow older. And that's the beauty of being on a show this long. We don't have different people playing these parts. Kelly and I are still there, and we're the grown-ups, and Torsten's a grown-up on the show now too. And we've all gotten past those 30-year-old things where you're young and beautiful and playing romance all the time. There's other things to play on a soap opera, and that's the beauty of having this job for me and for any of us who are older in daytime television, is that you don't age out. You don't have to age out. It's up to the show.
And what did Lorette say when you got nominated?
Pardon me?
What did Lorette say when you got nominated?
Oh, yeah, Lorette did. It's funny. I was
with Lorette every Emmys.
What?
I like checking in with Lorette every Emmys and get her thoughts.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh my God. Look, I was having lunch with Jerry Lacey, and Jerry goes back to Dark Shadows, for God's sake, and other shows too, in YNR and I think Guiding Light or Another World, who knows, maybe all of them. Anyway, I got a call from Eva, our publicist, Eva Bassler, and she said, "Don't tell anybody." And I go, "Don't tell who? Don't tell who what?" And she said, "Well, I'm going to be calling you in a couple of hours, and I'm going to be telling you something, and I don't want you to tell anybody what it is. Do you know what I mean?" And it was that's so subtle. Come on. So, and then indeed, she did call me after it had aired on one of the shows on TV. She had called Lorette before that and said the same thing to Lorette. "Don't tell John," And Lorette says, "Don't tell John. Who else am I going to tell?" So it was fun. It was a fun morning, and yesterday and today have been really fun with a lot of emails and texts from friends and colleagues and the people we work with. All of us talking to each other and having fun with this. It's wonderful.
Well, I want to thank you so much for celebrating here tonight with us. I always love having you on the day of the nominations or the night. And I do. I wouldn't be the same without you, John. It wouldn't be the same without you. And I have to say You were amazing in this story. And you were the glue that held that story together. Like, if we didn't care about the way we feel about Eric, which is how, you make us feel, it wouldn't have, tugged at our heartstrings the way it did.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much. And that's the beauty of being on a show like this, the through line and the day after day and year after year of the same character. We really know these people, don't we? And we care about them. And then when these stories go on, we're invested in what's going to happen. So, I thank you for that. Thanks for that compliment.
You are welcome. Stephanie said Eric and Donna nailed it.
Yeah, we did. We nailed it. I'm so proud of Jennifer. And I think she really deserves to be there. So good for her.
All right, John, have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon.
I'll see you soon at the Emmys, if nothing else.
If nothing else.
Okay.
Bye, John.
Take care.
Hey, guys, while we're waiting for our next guest, well, actually, here she's arrived. Hello.
Hi.
On with
I'm
us.
trying to figure this out. I was running a little late, so I'm in my car. I hope you don't mind.
I don't.
Do you mind?
Can you hear me?
I can. Of course. Can you hear me?
Yes. Do you want to make your thing horizontal, or do you need it vertical?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. How do I do that?
Leave it.
Oh, sorry.
We're good.
Okay.
Congratulations, Michelle Stafford.
Thank you. Oh, look, it's horizontal. No?
Wait, I lost you.
Okay. Oh, here I am. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm getting over the flu.
You are. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. I sound like this, and I look like I haven't slept because I haven't slept. I've had a bad flu this last several days, and it's been brutal. How are you? And it wouldn't be the Emmys without a Michelle Stafford nomination now.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice to say.
It is. Nice. What was your reaction? I mean, what a group of women, Michelle.
It's a lot of women, and it's 6.
It's 6. And you're buddies with some of them. Finola.
Yeah.
Catherine. Cynthia Wachos. I mean,
I mean, I know them all. But I'm really excited. That it's Finola and me again.
I know the buddies. What did you submit, and why did you choose to submit the scenes? You had some interesting stuff last year. I was wondering what you decided to go with.
I went with just kind of the beginning of her Phyllis's spin out to when she was pleading to be exonerated.
And what did you like about that, though? Like, for yourself as an actress, what about the scenes did you think showcased?
I mean, the thing that I liked, and I guess someone liked it, that it showed what I do love about the character is that she is dark. She can be very dark and really, really fierce, but then very broken. And so I like that it showed all of that. I had some scenes with Tracy and Christian that I started with that weren't really meant, I think, to be as intense as they were, but they ended up being very intense because basically, she's talking to her friends who no one believes her about this woman, Diane. No one believes her, and she has no friends, and no one wants to know her, and she's become the villain, right? And I like and just her complete frustration, and I don't know what the right word is, but it showed that going into, and I hadn't seen these scenes, and then the great Maddie Kane mention this one scene. Oh my God. And I was watching it. It was so funny because Phyllis is like in Diane's face and she's like, and you're afraid of me. And then I got up in her face and I'm like, and you should be afraid of me. And I'm watching it going, bitch, I'm afraid of you.
That's great.
Jesus. So, I mean, I liked that it was that. And then at the end, she's just so broken talking to the judge. That was a 12-minute scene, a 12-minute monologue. I've never ever had 7 pages of, well, I mean, it wasn't, the judge did have lines like, and then what did you do? And then, so, I mean, I that's the first time I've ever had, like, I think it was 8 pages of just me talking, but I didn't submit, yeah.
You did not, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. It's boring. It's boring.
No, people are very interested in this. We all,
they are?
Yes. We love, soap fans, we love to know, like, what did they choose and why did they choose it? And why didn't they go with this? And, because we're all armchair quarterbacks. We don't know, we're like, oh, I think she should go with these scenes. Like we were telling your on-screen daughter, Allison Lanier, we have her scenes picked out for next year because of what she's doing now. Well, everyone's loving her in the Harrison kidnapping story. And I asked her what she thought about you and, how fierce you are.
Yeah. Oh, and what did she say?
I'm
totally kidding. Allison worked so hard. I mean, she worked so hard last year. She works hard all the time. She's so great, and I'm so happy for her because she's just a very, very focused, hardworking actress, and I think she has a great look, and she's just fantastic. And I feel just so rich in that Hunter played my daughter for so many years, and now I have Allison, and it's just really, really, Allison came into this to work and came into the story when my character was really jacked up and kind of an adversary, like fighting with her all the time. And I think it was a little daunting for Allison. Like she was like, geez, wow, this is, we're in. And she just, it's this daytime. It's like, get on the express train. It's moving. You either jump on or you don't get on. It really is an express train, and not every actor can do it. It's a special technique, and it's part of, I think, what we all love about it, because that's the challenge, to actually put out something somewhat decent. I never want to say good because I don't know if it's good, but somewhat decent in what we have. And we have limited time, and when you get somebody, doing a great scene like Allison, which she submitted was fantastic, and I saw it, and it's really impressive. Anybody who can, I always say, anyone who could be good in daytime is fucking phenomenal out there.
Yeah. Now you vote yourself. When you're looking as a voter at Reels, what are you looking for? Authenticity? Like, what are you looking for from performance that you as an actress can go like, I think this is good?
You know what? The way that the voting is now, it's very different. You used to kind of be like, I like this one the best, and this one second best, and this one. And the voting is a little different. It seems to always change the way that they do the voting, by the way. And so I'm not really like, that sort of designates how you vote, the way that they tell you to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of based on what they say. I don't know if I can really describe it. I don't think I don't know if I can describe it. It's just sometimes, sometimes some people are just, it's a story too, Michael. it's the story someone's given. It really is. Like it,
Yeah, that's
you
so
know, and in the category I judged in, like there were some people with really, is that me or you? There were, okay. There were some people with really phenomenal stories. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. But then I've judged before when people have like kind of mediocre stories, but they killed. So I don't know what it is.
I have here, they're all asking me, tell Michelle we're fans of Pacific Palisades.
Oh, yay.
Pacific Palisades people. DL Bridges. What do you remember about Pacific Palisades when you were on it?
Do I remember it?
No, what do you remember about being on it, reflecting back on it now?
Well, I did it with Finola.
Of course. Yeah.
As you guys know. And Finola and I, our characters played best friends, and I created a great friendship with Finola. And I just oh gosh, I don't think I appreciated it as much as I should have. Of course, I was younger, and I thought, oh, this is my first show. I'll get many more. And you're just so silly when you're young. You don't appreciate things like you do when you're older. That's all.
So
and
I
not that. Right. But not that I didn't appreciate it. I mean, I knew I was really fortunate. I knew I was lucky. I grew up in this business. Like I knew how lucky I was, but I just, it was a different kind of character for me to play. I think it was a little challenging because I'd gone from playing Phyllis to playing like this wholesome Midwestern girl off the farm sort of. And so that was a little challenging, but oh gosh, it was a good time.
Now you have the Emmys coming up, and you like to glam up. So do you like the thing of like picking out the outfit or not?
We all like to glam up, don't we?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was talking while I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay.
What did you say?
No, you like to glam up for the Emmys. So picking out a dress is fun?
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. I love it.
And would you do it with Finola or on your own?
Well, I would probably do it online, right? I'd probably do it online.
But see, everything probably fits you well. I could never do that. I have to get everything altered 80 times.
Oh, because you're very manly.
And short. So nothing, the pants are too long and the jackets.
Yeah, but that's a good problem to have, to be like buff like you are. No, I mean, gosh, if Finola wants to go, if she wants to go dress shopping, that would be fun. Maybe we will do that.
And then maybe take us with you, film a video of it, and then we'll see shopping adventures with the two of you.
With the two of us?
Yes. So you won 20 years ago as your second Emmy? Has it been 20 years? No.
Yes, it's been 20 years. Hey, it's been 20 years. Come on.
Come on now, 20 years.
It's been 20 years. Give me another one. No, I'm so kidding.
But what's amazing is think of the longevity you've had. I mean, I can't believe it has been 20 years, actually. But
I know. I can't either, Michael.
Okay.
Oh, geez. It's been, but yeah, 2004. Oh my gosh. Wow. 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens on Emmy night.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a good time.
It'll be a good time.
It definitely, last year was a good time. I shouldn't say last year. I should say just 4 months ago.
4 months ago. Well, thank you, Michelle, so much for taking some time. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a good one. Tell all of the people coming in. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Michelle. All right, Eric Martsolf.
What's going on? Are you laughing? Why are we laughing right now?
I'm laughing. Who's there? Where are you?
Oh my gosh.
Tell us the story.
Okay, this is. Wait, we're trapped in the car. This is going to be one of the best segments I think we've ever done together. We are trapped in our rental car. We can't get out of it. I'm not even kidding you. This is Brandon Barash. I think you know who he is, and he can't. He had to open it from the outside. This, Michael, has been one of the weirdest days. We're on the road with the day players, right?
I knew that, but where are
And we're in Chicago, where I thought, what better time to talk to you than the busiest airport in America? And we just so happened that the rental car, apparently you can't rent a big car these days with a debit card. We didn't know this. You're not allowed to rent an SUV or a minivan with a debit card. And as luck would have it, we all had debit cards. And so we had to move God and earth just to get this car. The funny thing about this car, apparently it's Christine, the devil car, because it's locked us in and it's trying to kill us. I'm not even kidding. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on this guy. Oh, he's smiling now, but
so it doesn't
anyway,
open. Hi. It doesn't open.
It's rock and roll. It's life in the fast lane, right? That's what we're doing.
Driving to where?
We are driving to, we're in Chicago O'Hare, but we're driving to Batavia, Illinois, which is where the club is for our show tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, so you're not missing a show tonight if you get trapped in the car.
Correct. However, if we get trapped in the car, that for the rest of the night, that's going to be the real show, because I'm going to do a live stream of us just trying to survive in this vehicle.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Eric.
Thank you, sir.
So happy for you. Lead actor nomination. I know you won supporting before, but
yes, sir.
This is a lead. So everyone's thrilled for you.
Thank you.
Like when you found this out?
It's funny. I want to tell you the story because it's poignant. It's worth telling. The day I found out, Michael, was a really hard day for me because my brother and I were up in northern Michigan, dealing with basically clearing out our family cottage that we had inherited from my parents, which have since passed. And so our hearts were really heavy having to do this, and there were some tears, and we were going through photo albums in the attic, and sure enough, 2 hours later, I get this text, congratulations, from Andrea over in publicity. And it just hit me like, wow, what was really a horrible day just had a nice little beautiful cherry put on top with a little bit of positivity. And it came at just the right time. My mother would be thrilled to see the folks that I am in this category with. She loves her some Victor Newman, always has. So
can I just say something to you?
Yeah.
My late mom,
yeah,
loved Victor Newman. I brought her to the set in Wisconsin to meet Eric. It was the biggest of her life. You know, she passed of Alzheimer's a few years ago.
yes.
But that's a good thing to meet Eric. So our moms love Eric. They love Victor.
They do. And I know, this year it's the 3 B&B guys and the 2 Erics. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, it was 10 years ago, right, that you won for supporting?
Yeah, you're right. It was 2014. That was my first nomination and my first win, obviously. So
and that was for the cocaine story?
Pardon?
Was that the cocaine story?
As he says with a smile, yes, that was the cocaine story. No, hold on, wait a minute. No, not necessarily. See, the thing with Brady was he wasn't an addict at the time because he dropped the cocaine and he only drank alcohol. So that was his reasoning.
Okay.
You know, hey, I can control that. It's the coke that I have a problem with.
A lot of coke.
Right. Spoken like a true addict. No,
a lot of coke. So tell me about what scenes you submitted and how you ended up in lead and decided to go for lead this year.
Well, I got nominated for lead 2 years ago as well. So I was ready to jump into that pool with the big boys, and I feel comfortable at this point in my career doing that. And I liked the work that Stacey Haiduk and I had been doing as Kristen and Brady, which was once this really forbidden relationship. You know, I remember the good old days with Eileen, and we're like, is this okay that we're going to be sleeping together and I dated your dad decades ago? Are people going to be okay with this? And I think the answer is a resounding yes, because here we are still. That's that's the relationship. Kristen and Brady have this tumultuous thing. And I took snippets of this custodial battle that is just going on and on with Rachel, their daughter. And they're playing a lot of cat and mouse games. But at the heart of it is just a father who wants to see his little girl. And Kristen is standing in the way of that at times. And Michael, I can relate to being a father. I can also relate to spending a lot of time away from my boys. Heck, I'm on the road. I'm doing it right now. I'm on the road. I miss them horribly. So the material I've gotten at the studio recently resembles my world a lot. So I have a pretty easy time tapping into those feelings and emotions. It may, in a strange way, be one of the easiest storylines I've ever done because I don't have to do the research. I kind of, live that.
And did you know when you had performed those scenes that they would be something that you'd want come Emmy time for your reel?
I knew that there was fire that Stacey was bringing that day. She was heated. I was heated, and that we were blowing up at each other. And I thought if they captured this correctly, this could be something fun. I always make a note whenever I feel like I had a good day on that stage. I always note the episode, and so I can go back and take a look at all of them and piece the puzzle together. And I think I found some good spots. She is to be commended as well because she's a huge part of my reel.
And so is she are there other scenes other than her in it?
Yes, there is. Then I ended it. I kind of capped it off with Marlena, with Deidre Hall and I, where she basically presses me and says, Brady, you can't fly off the handle. You are not that guy. You need to keep your cool. And it's basically me saying, nope, I can't see my kid. She's right down the road, and this woman is keeping me from seeing her, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I have to do to see my kid. And it's a sad thing that many people and parents go through this kind of anger. The kids can just set you off, and Brady's going a little nuts right now. We caught it on camera. So
okay, Tamara Braun just messaged me. She said, it's Tamara here. Eric's reel is phenomenal.
Did she really just say that to you on a text?
No, she's in the live chat.
Oh, she's in the live chat. Oh, Tamara, if you can hear me, thank you.
You kicked off the show, and now she's here with us saying your reel was phenomenal. And well, I know those scenes. Now, I haven't seen the reel, but I know pretty much everybody's stuff.
You do.
And I can imagine this probably played amazingly well for the voters, which is what landed you here, plus your work. So good on you.
Well, Tamara, thank you. I have mad respect for her. So for her to say that, she wouldn't blow smoke. She'd be honest. I heard from Lindsay Godfrey. I heard from Jen Lilly. So I started to feel that there was some momentum happening with these particular sets of scenes. And I also have to credit Andrea McKinnon, who is our new publicist over at Days. She's really knocking it out of the park. And I sat with her in her office and pieced together this puzzle, and she had a lot of interesting changes to make to it. So this was definitely a team effort in many, many ways.
Tamara said, it's the truth. You knocked it out of the park. Candace Mack is with us. She said, I even remember those scenes when it first aired. I said, those are some Emmy reel moments.
Well, thank God I picked the right stuff.
So thank God you're in the right group with us because we're on your team here, apparently.
Hey, it's good. It's good to feel good about your work.
Martsolf is my choice for the win. Those are phenomenal scenes. And we've got some soap viewers here.
This is getting better and better. This is getting better. I like what I'm hearing here, man.
We just want to send you off. What did Brandon Barash think when you were nominated?
I haven't even talked to him yet. We were supposed to sit down and have dinner and shake hands and how you doing, buddy? That kind of stuff. Oh, we haven't been able to. This poor guy. Have you ever tried to drive out of O'Hare and find Illinois?
Where's the rest of your day player crew?
Oh, Wally's already there. He's at a honky tonk. He sent me a video. Wally Kurth also nominated for an Emmy. he sent me a video of him dancing at a honky tonk, saying how much fun he was having. So I sent him a video of me at the car rental place and said, yeah, having a blast here too. I hope you're having a ball. Carson, God knows where he is. That guy, he's coming from Iowa or something. We're a band. It's so funny. We just go do our, and just hope to God we all show up at the same time on the downbeat, you know?
Now, do you rehearse before you do your show, or just do a sound check, or what happens?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. No, we get together. We get together at my house. Sometimes we get together at Brandon's house, and we practice our songs. This is not just a wing it kind of thing. We take it pretty seriously.
Tamara's saying, you're in Chicago. Tell my hometown hello.
I didn't know is she from Chicago? That's awesome. Okay. Hold on. Let me roll down the window.
You can't roll down the window.
Tamara says hello, everybody. She misses Chicago a lot. Goodbye. Hello. Oh my God, a lady actually heard me in her car.
She's like,
that was funny. She thought I was screaming at her.
So what do you remember the night you won the Emmy? Like, what is your advice to yourself going into the Emmys this year when you sit there and they call or not call your name? Do you have to do the fun face of like, oh, I lost, or oh, I won? Well,
of course you got to practice that face. I mean, whoever doesn't practice that face is lying through their teeth.
Right.
No, Michael, I've been on both ends, right? I did the antithesis of the Susan Lucci, right? I won on my first nomination. So I've experienced that, but 2 years ago, I also experienced sitting there and losing to John McCook, and I didn't feel bad about that at all. Because when you're in the company of these guys, anyone can take this thing. They're all great actors. So you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be harder if you think you were the Seabiscuit of the race.
Oh yeah.
There wasn't a doubt. Seabiscuit is supposed to win this race. You got a bunch of Seabiscuits in that thing. So this is the fun part for me, to be nominated and to hear your peers go, you know what, that was some good stuff. This is the fun part. Getting dressed up and going to the show is great too, but I really love this moment right now.
This is the fun part, I would say, as well. And I was going to say, did you vote this year?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not vote. I had some conflicts. I couldn't vote, but I voted every other year. This was the first time I did. But
is there? Yeah. What do you look for in a performance if you're voting on the Emmys as an actor? What are you looking for from a reel? That the story moves you, or that there's not a false note, or like what is it you look for?
I look for reactive listening. And I know that's a little strange to say, but I think Lindsay Godfrey and I, we had some scenes the other day, and we understood that. I could tell that she understood it, and it was important to me to show that you're really listening to the other person. Sometimes you're just talking and talking and talking, but the real interesting stuff is when you listen and you respond, and it sounds so simple and simplistic, but it's hard when you're working as fast as we do. Sometimes actors believe as long as they have their lines and they shoot them out, they're doing their job. It's not always about the lines. I'm usually captivated within the first 30 seconds of a reel. I know I get 15 minutes to prove whatever we need to prove, but within the first 30 seconds or minute, you can tell when an actor's in it, as a duo, as a couple. And you can also tell when they're just spinning and they're just searching for their next line. And that happens in our industry sometimes because we move too quickly. But I don't know. I've been moved by performances when no one is even saying a word. It's just their face. It's just their look. It's just their intensity. It's their hurt or their pain that's in their face because they're hearing what the other person's saying. I think that's important to listen.
I would agree. And who did you get in touch with to tell them you were nominated first? I want to spin your question a little bit because okay. I did get a really wonderful phone call. The first person that called me happened to be the publicist for Bold and the Beautiful, Eva DiMergi. Oh.
And that moved me, Michael, because we know of the ordeals that she's been going through. And I told her the story about why I was, where I was and what I was doing with my mom's cottage and everything. And we just shared a lot of a lot of fun little nostalgic stories because she was my publicist on Passions when this whole thing started. So,
That's right.
you know, I just thought that was really classy and beautiful, and kind of a tribute to our little soap circle that even though we're supposedly on different teams, we're not. We're all kind of supporting each other in the end, and we all just want our genre to live, and that's why we should all support the Gates.
Yes.
We all should support each other, because I think this is an interesting time when new soaps are being generated in the world, right? I mean, I think networks and executives are seeing the light and seeing the numbers and going, this is far from dead, right?
I mean, when you saw that this was a new soap was coming, what was your reaction? Did you think it was going to actually happen?
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure if it would be greenlit. I thought it was a wonderful idea, but I was skeptical, of course. But when I heard that it was a go, I celebrated. I think it's terrific.
And
it's a win for us.
It is a win. It is a win. And I wanted to say, back on the Eva Demersion and Passions, I can't believe, Eric, how long I've known you from when you were on Passions. I'm like, I turned 80 years old in the process. But like,
you're not 80.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of years, Eric. You know what I mean? I remember you as the young guy. I'm like, who's this guy? And then I remember having the best time with you. I've never laughed so hard. And I thought, this guy's really great. And then I just now getting to know you and see you evolve as an actor. It's just been so wonderful to see. What's going on in my hair? So wonderful to see.
There's something in your hair? What? No, it looks great. Your hair looks great. Is that turbo mousse in there? That looks good. It looks good tonight.
But you know what I mean. It's been amazing.
I appreciate you saying that, because you were always there from the very beginning as well. We have known each other a long time, and it's always been support. It's always been good, and you're a hell of a nice guy and a hell of a good support system for our entire genre. And the fact that you do this is a tribute to you and how much you're committed to this genre living and surviving. As am I. I love it. I love what I do. And I think you do too. And it shows, you know?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, buddy.
Eric, I hope you get out of the car.
You see, it's getting darker.
It's getting darker.
Yeah, it's almost pitch black. But we are on the road, and we're hoping to make some soap fans happy tomorrow.
Please text me and let me know you're safe. Congratulations on the Emmy nomination, and I will see you soon.
I'll see you soon, and thank you so much, Michael. Love you, buddy.
Right. Have a good one. Bye. Allie Mills. Okay, like, this is not an Emmy nomination special without you. Now, this is a few years running now.
I agree with Eric about you, though, Michael.
Oh,
you know, bless your heart. I've been
hard.
here a long time too, but you've been doing what you do with such excellence. I was thinking, you know, I remember a long time ago, and I don't remember what year, but being on the red carpet with Orson. Talking to you. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he was wearing spats, leather spats. And you went, dude, what's that on your feet? He'd gotten them on that show with, oh gosh, I can't think of her name, the comic, because she's so funny. She has a series, but she had Orson wear those shoes on her show, do tap dance. And he said, I'm wearing these to the Emmys. And I went, oh, really? Okay.
I remember that so well.
I do too.
He was so fun.
He's so fun.
Oh my God, so fun.
It was our anniversary yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good about it. You know, it's ever since maybe a couple days. It took a couple days, but he's good. You know, I mean, it was the best week of his life before he died. You know, that was the horrible thing was how it happened.
Yes.
That I had to watch it. That's horrible. But life is weird. I mean, I don't know why that's how it happened, but he was the happiest I've ever known him. So I think he was already kind of moving off into outer space. And, you know, and I know he's happy. I just like that. I have no doubt about. I'm jealous sometimes. Like,
well,
why'd you leave me?
You know, what you experience is what so many people that have lost a loved one, right? It's those moments of waves of, you know, that's what it's like for all of us, especially a great enduring love that you and Orson had. So I can only imagine how that is. Things trigger it, and then you're in it for.
I really feel for the people where it wasn't pleasant to begin with, you know, then there's all, you know what I mean? And I'm so lucky that way that I had such an astonishing experience for 30 years, you know, so I'll take it.
Well, I would always point to you guys. I'm like, this couple's in love.
Oh, we're so, I know.
Like you knew it from, I didn't care when I saw you, what year it was, what moment it was. I'm like, you know, it's a great archetype. Like, you know, like they're aspirational because a lot of us never have that. Right.
That's what I really realized. So that's why it's like, you know, shut the F up, Allie. You know what I mean? You're so lucky. And so now I'm just in a different phase of my life. And it's, you know, I spent all day today at City Hall because I'm chair of the homelessness committee in Venice. And so, and now I'm talking to you. It's sort of like, whoa. But suddenly, you know, I'm just doing different things and actually things that I wouldn't have done with him because I didn't want to spend time away from him.
Exactly.
He didn't want me on any committees. He's like, you get on that committee, I'll kill you.
I want to tell you, so last year, I remember we had this conversation leading into the Emmys, and you were on the show, the nominations special, and then you go and win the Emmy.
Wow. Okay. I don't remember any of that, but okay.
You're on. And and then you went and won. Now you're up again.
You know, that I one and done for me. One's plenty. You know, if I don't have room for two, it doesn't matter. But it's always an honor, and you can't lie and say it's not when your peers, you know, recognize something and love this character. I do. I love her. So I'm definitely honored, but it's different than the first time because the first time was really I thought it was really kind of great to win. I went, wow, at 73, after having been on the Wonder Years for so long, where none of us could really get nominated because we weren't really a comedy,
right?
And that was our category,
right?
And it didn't matter because we all loved the show anyway, but. That was the problem that people told me all the time is we were up against like hilariously funny sitcoms in the 80s, you know, and it's not, the Wonder Years wasn't really funny, but we were called a comedy.
It was slice of life more than comedy.
Yeah, and a lot of pathos, you know. A lot
of pathos. But everybody knows Allie Mills, the Wonder Years. And now it's like, yes, and now she's Heather Weber.
I love that. I love it. That's my favorite thing. I mean, it's so.
And now she's Heather Weber.
Yeah.
What scenes did you submit this year? Do you know what's on the reel or you do not know?
I did know. Let me think for a second. I haven't actually thought about that, Michael. I won't lie to you. Oh gosh. You know, I don't remember. It wasn't the stuff that's recent that got heavy. Because that was this year.
2023, right.
I think you know, to me, it was kind of more of the same weird shenanigans of Heather. There was nothing. I don't remember what I said. I can't.
The voters liked you again.
Okay. I'm supposed to put okay. What happened? No, okay.
No, I see you.
There. Okay. There. Something just popped up for me to press okay.
Okay.
I pressed okay.
You're good. I was just going to ask, this year you're up against Dick Van Dyke.
I heard.
Have you met Dick?
Oh, yeah.
And
Orson, you know, Orson's basically, he's not quite, I think Orson's a little bit younger. He was born in 28 and I think Dick is born in 26 or something. Do you know how old he is? I think Orson would be
98.
Okay. Yeah. No, Orson would be 96. So they're 2 years different, but they totally knew each other. In the day, and actually I will never mind, I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
Orson knows.
Orson?
Yeah. Us. But I mean, I just think I love it. A couple of old vets.
The old vets.
And you know, at 98, honestly, I hope they give it to Dick Van Dyke. I mean, it's like, yeah, at a certain point, just
He was
accumulation, honor. I'm sure he's won many, many, many Emmys in his life. And I don't know if he's been in movies. Has he to win an
Well, I
Oscar?
want to tell you that in his guest starring role on Days of Our Lives, he was wonderful. He really was great.
Yeah.
So touching. I was
Good.
like, oh my God, this is great. So I do feel like he deserved to be there, not just because he's Dick Van. He was really good.
Yeah.
A couple people are asking, do these scenes ring a bell? Candace says, chances are it was Heather confessing to being the serial killer and doing it for Esme.
Yes.
Freeman Griffin said maybe it was the Hook killer reveal, mother and daughter scenes with Avery.
Yes. All of that. You're right. Yes, that's what it was. Now I remember the reel is coming back to me.
We know our group here.
You know Eva Demersian?
Yes.
My beloved Eva is like, I love her because I've known her forever and ever. She's up, by the way, was nominated for the Gold and Silver Circle Award. And hopefully, deservedly, she's amazing. But yeah, she always helps me with my reel because I've known her like forever and she's the greatest. So she helped me put stuff together. And yes, you're right. That was in it. I forgot about that.
So what was that
stuff being dragged to Windermere and having those scenes with Maura going like, you know what, Maura, maybe you want this gun. I was just saying, you know, I mean, you don't like Ryan particularly, and he's out there. So here, you want my gun? And I remember I gave her the gun so she could shoot him. So
now she's got like the metal problem like in her hip, and that's supposed to like her leg. I mean, were you like,
well, Michael, of course, if you had a hip replacement and cobalt leached into your brain, you'd be forgiven all of your sins.
I wish.
Okay. Well, you would, you know, it's actually true. They can't do stuff that's not true. So the head writer at the time, Chris Van Etten, who's still with us, thank God, because I just adore him. And I love the new head writer who I've known forever from Bold and Beautiful. Yeah, he's amazing. So now we have a double whammy there. But that was all Chris's idea. And he said there's cases where people didn't go to jail. I don't know if it was murder, but it was domestic violence for sure. And they're saying it was my hip replacement. So there's real validity to the fact that the cobalt does affect your brain.
Okay. So either they're going to rehabilitate her or she's full of it. Right? But that's great that you get to play that.
I think I'm allowed. Am I allowed to go ahead or not?
Not too far ahead.
Okay. Because I mean, then perhaps in the future, it will even be Heather realizing what she's done, which is deep.
But I don't think they would have done all this if they thought you were so great in the role. They had to like keep you in it and around.
Well, that's what I think.
Come on.
I think I may end up back in Port Charles, you know, like running a candy store or something. But I don't have many boundaries, even in Port Charles. I mean, my relationship with Jeannie Francis is so great. I really love her. Wow, she's fun to work with.
I was going to ask you, Dee, I was going to ask her about Laura being her friend. Jeannie.
Oh, I mean, and so, you know, but it has to be, you know, I can't remember what that thing is. Friends with boundaries. Isn't there some expression like that? But I mean, so Jeannie, like, we become friends in a scene, and then all of a sudden she realizes I better put up. Wait, whoa. So I think that could be a really fun situation where, you know, I don't think Heather's ever going to be appropriate.
Oh no.
Even if well-meaning and no longer vicious or any of those, you know, because I don't think she was ever vicious. She just, you know, people hurt her daughter. And, you know, Michael, if you got in the way of my daughter, I'd have to hurt you.
With a hook?
Well, that's what was available at the stable. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they ever came up with that at the stable. That was, I mean, it shouldn't be funny, but at the same time, I think it helped walk that line, because otherwise it's just horrific. It's horrific and gruesome and horrible. So somehow they were able for such a long time. I mean, it was a year that we walked through.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I talk with my hands. The directors tell me that all the time. So I just knocked my computer over. You're not supposed to talk with your hands. because they don't end up in frame. So I just went and knocked my computer over. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to get a cloth.
Okay.
I knocked over a glass of water.
All right. Well, we have accidents happen here on the nomination show.
Yes, paper towels right in my office.
Commercial. All right. Well, Natasha says, "Hi, Allie, Michael. Congrats on getting nomination for your second time to my favorite TV mom of all time. And yes, I can whistle with my fingers. Congrats again, Mom, from the Wonder Years."
Thank you, Natasha. I know who she is.
And
Very
Kat is asking, will Allie ever reappear on B&B as Pam?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that door is, I mean, I've talked to Brad about it, and at one point it didn't happen. It didn't end up happening, but we'd done that amazing series down at the Union Rescue Mission. Do you remember that, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah. And should I close that thing behind me? Is that distracting? You're not. You're
Okay.
Okay. And I met Brad down there when Andy Bales was retiring, which was devastating to me because I've worked with him for years, like 35 years. And the Union Rescue Mission is just, that's why I decided to be chair of the homelessness committee in Venice, is because of this man. And so Brad said, what if Pam was like on fentanyl, became homeless? And I went, brilliant, I'm there. And ended up down at the Union Rescue Mission.
Boy, they love to drug your characters.
I keep wondering, what does it say about me?
I just want to wish you congratulations on another well-deserved Emmy nomination.
Thank you.
I am assuming I will see you at the Emmys.
I will be there for sure.
There,
Congratulating Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke, and everyone that loves you here. They've been just very complimentary. Okay. I'm going through a divorce too, and I'm doing my best to hang in there. Okay. Congrats, Allie.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, Angel.
Courtney Hope.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm really good. How are you?
I am good. I want you to tell me everything because, of course, we all wanted you to get this nomination this year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I'm super excited and honored and all of the above.
Can you take me through kind of how you found out and who did you call first and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I was like waiting right at 9. I was like, let's see. And so I was scrolling because I actually didn't know where to look. And then the show called me and told me that I got nominated. And I was so excited. I'm like scared my dogs. I was like so excited. And the first people that I called was I called my family. I called my mom because she's always talking on speakerphone. So I knew that like it would go in one sweep. And so I got to tell my parents and my brother at the same time. And it was really cool. They were really, really excited. They've been a support system my whole life.
Now, please tell us the scenes you submitted because we all have our picks.
Yeah.
But we want to know how you did it and how you laid it out.
So it was actually difficult just because I feel like there were so many twists and turns in the story. Like I was like, well, and I'm such a storyteller that I'm like, well, is this relevant? Is this relevant? But in the end, I just submitted the day in the hospital when I found out when I woke up from the C-section, and then Adam tells me that my baby's no longer alive. And then like 2 of the scenes where I'm talking with him, and then 2 scenes where I'm talking to the box of trinkets with the little socks and the hat and her feet print, and then calling the doctors and telling the doctor that I'm ready to see my baby. And
that was the one.
Yeah.
That was the one. So when she pushes the button.
Yeah.
And says, I'm ready. I cannot tell you how that broke me. There was just something in that moment. And I've seen so many actors and actresses play stuff on soaps. But that really broke me. There was something in your performance that was so gut-wrenchingly honest in that moment. And I don't know how you did it because it felt just so raw,
Yeah, that was a really rough moment. And it was interesting, like watching it back, because when I'm in it, like I'm in it and I'm not really paying attention to what's going on around me. And sometimes even like the little nuances of what's coming out of my mouth. And when I watched it back, it was just really interesting to watch, like the okay, like the talking myself as Sally, like through that moment, you know. And yeah, I remember when I got the script, I was like, wow, are we not going to have the moment where, like, you know, I'm talking to the baby? And then when I shot that, I was like, yeah, we didn't need that. It would have been just too much, I think. Like, just especially for people that have gone through it, that were watching.
I actually think this was more effective without having her see her actually.
Right. Oh, I don't know if I could have done that.
I don't know if you could have done it. I don't know if you could have done that.
No.
Mark Grossman really played beautifully off of you in these scenes. And I remember I wrote it up, as you know, I said you guys gave the performance. I just remember Mark also was underplayed and just did beautiful work in that. How much was his reacting off of you and part of what made the performance?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, he's an incredible actor, and to be able to like have that, I mean, we both invested so much time and energy and, you know, creativity, and we were both very close to this story of wanting to have it, you know, just, we felt the weight of doing it for everybody that's lost their children, you know. And he's just amazing, and everything he brought, I mean, just looking at him and his heartbreak through all of it and his fight through all of it really escalated my heartbreak through it, because I could play off that. I mean, he's wonderful to play off of.
Right. I mean, because he had to make the decision. She doesn't know what you know, and
right.
He's more like, my baby. And he's like, I'm trying to save your life. And it's a terrible drama to play. And then I remember you writing some just very poignant and beautiful Instagram posts and stories where you were talking about, you haven't gone through this personally, but you had tapped into this and got a lot of emails or posts from mothers, or didn't you receive a lot of feedback?
I did. I mean, I was, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. I just remember you got a lot of feedback, like people were writing to you or commenting to you, how they went through something similar. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was amazed at the outpouring of vulnerability that these women and men that came out and said, like, I went through this, and not only to me, but like they were interacting with each other and talking to each other about their stories and supporting each other. And some people like just had gone through it. I know at a fan event, a couple came up to me and they had gone through it, and they came up to me specifically to talk about it. And, you know, it's gut wrenching, no matter what capacity, losing a child. I mean, I, you know, have never experienced it personally in my life for me, but I lost my brother when I was younger and watched my parents go through a loss of a child. I had a boyfriend at one time pass away and watched his parents, and then talking with people around me, the miscarriages that, you know, have surrounded me with people in my life. Right. And stillbirths, and like, just, I really tried to do my due diligence to say, okay, like, I want everyone to feel heard. And like, I want to be that vessel through which this happens. And like, I'm willing to, you know, go through the emotions, which were not easy. And your body doesn't know the difference. I mean, after the scenes, I was like, my nervous system, I mean, oh my gosh, like I went and sat in my dressing room and just was like talking to myself, like, this isn't real. I mean, I knew, but like my body is going through it. And it just gave me so much empathy for these women and men. And I mean, it devastating.
Is this one of the reasons you feel you became an actor, to be a vessel to illustrate humanity storylines, or is it just like, is that a thrill? I mean, like, what is that part of why you love what you do or do what you do?
Yeah, it's the reason why I do what I do. I love being able to tell stories, and I love to be able to tell the stories that no one wants to tell or doesn't, the ones that people talk about in the confines sometimes of their home, that is like either not easy to talk about or socially acceptable to talk about, or that are just difficult, and to make people feel less alone. This is so silly, but when I was younger, because I know it's Barney, but when I was little, I used to tell, I mean, I've wanted to be an actor since I was a kid, like 4 or 5 years old. I was like, that's what I want to do. And I knew it. And I was watching an episode, and Barney gave her a teddy bear, or she had a teddy bear. And anyway, it was Barney's birthday, and she forgot to give him a gift. And so Kathy decided to give him her teddy bear. And he was like, oh my gosh. And she just was like, no, like, you mean more to me than this teddy bear. And I remember as a kid being so impacted, and I didn't know what acting was. I just was like, these people in this screen, they were affecting me. And like, I want to do that, because I had a rocking chair. I had my teddy bear, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I had learned such a valuable lesson, and I felt seen. And I know that sounds silly because I was so young, and then through everything I watched as I grew up and lived life, going through experiences of life, and having moments of feeling alone, and being like, I love watching the movies and the TV shows where I'm like, that's how I feel. Yes, I don't feel alone. I'm like, how can I do that? So that's why, yeah, I love being the vessel.
What do you think about the nominees in your category?
I think they're amazing. I mean, I'm super honored to be a part of this group of women. I mean, they're incredible, and I'm excited. Very excited.
Allison gave you mad props earlier.
I love her.
You're her girl.
I love her. I'm so excited for her. I mean, I'm so excited. They like did a whole thing on set because I'm not working today, and I was like, FaceTime me. So like some of my friends were FaceTiming me. I'm so thrilled for her.
Sorry, my phone went off. You've got so many people here saying, gut-wrenching storyline. Courtney, you're so real. Hopefully Sally will one day get her happy ending.
I hope so.
Do we want Sally to be happy, or do we want her to still, because I look at Sally like you can throw everything at her to keep her down.
Mm-hmm.
She rises up to go through it again.
Yeah.
Get knocked down again, but I feel like I go through that in my own life,
Yeah,
like,
same.
I'm like, am I Sally Spector?
Sometimes I'm like,
I must be living this person's life.
Exactly. I'm like, this is life. This is what the life is. The knockdowns, the come up, yeah.
I think I get knocked down more than I come up, but
Exactly. Oh my gosh, just building strength in your thighs. Yeah, I've just been standing up all the time. I definitely feel like I agree with you. Like, do we really want her to be happy? I want her to be happy, but I love her resilience that she continues to build. I love seeing that as she evolves, as she matures. I think that will always be a thing, just given that she's a Spectra. People are always gonna, second guess her capabilities or her intent. So
you're gonna now. I know you like glamming up, so I'm assuming picking out the dress is a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I always love to be like, what vibe do I want to go with? So.
Right, because you'll come up with different vibes. I've seen you through the years, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Are you starting now to figure it out, or are you last minute?
No, I'm not last minute. That would be too much anxiety. I'm not last minute. But I've also found that even when you plan, last minute things happen anyway. So it's like you kind of have to be ready for it. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to veer away from black. I love black. I always wear black and black again. But I'm gonna laugh when I show up in black. But we'll see. Like, I want to just try. I don't know. Do something different. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. Congratulations. This was so well deserved. I was so happy to see your name.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
We're so thrilled for you. So we'll see you at the Emmys or before.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good one. Look who's here. Unmute your mic.
Whoops. Hey.
Hey, Bryton.
Mr. Fairman, how are you?
I feel like this is our annual thing with you. Like, it isn't an Emmy nomination special without you. Congratulations again. This is the 11th nomination?
It is, yeah. It is. Thank you very, very much.
11 times, 2 wins.
2 wins, 11 out of 20.
11 out of 20. Well, Peter Bergman is 24 out of 3?
He's like 28 out of something. Yeah,
29 out of 80.
Nobody's catching Mr. Bergman.
No, so talk to me about what happened when you found out you were nominated, and what scenes did you end up going with this year?
I was laying in bed. I woken up a bit early, and I knew it was going to happen at 9. So I figured I'd just lay around and sit by my phone until maybe I heard something.
You were waiting to find out.
I was waiting to go online and see what it was, because I wasn't going to go back to sleep. And then the show called. our fantastic publicist Matt Kane gave us a call and told me, and then I called my mom, and then got on with the day. I got ready for work. I worked today.
You worked today.
Yeah.
And so what scenes did you submit this year for 2023?
I sent most of the storyline of the scenes I submitted were between Crystal and myself when Devon was wanting to split the company up, when Jill and Lily wanted to take Chance of the Winners public, and Devon didn't want to do that. And but it was a lot of those scenes, but I kicked it off with this scene that I did with Trevor St. John and Eileen Davidson. But January of last year, when I come into their hotel room and I let Tucker have it, and Eileen's just is standing there. It's a funny story, actually. When I did that scene, like, I knew that when I got the script, I knew I was going to have to go toe to toe with Trevor, who's just an incredible actor.
Incredible actor, yeah,
and phenomenal. But really, I remember when I was reading it, all I was thinking about was how Eileen Davidson is just going to be standing in the scene because she has no lines, watching me. And all I cared about was impressing her. And
we all do this. We do. Davidson, I do too.
Right?
Yes.
That's all I cared about. It's how I prepped for the scene. It's everything. And she was phenomenal. She cried during the scene. She had nothing to say and was still the best one of us all. But that's the scene I used to kick it off. And then there's one scene also with where Devon and Nate kind of make up after a few years of all their hardships. They
Yeah, I thought he should have punched out Nate long ago, but that's a whole other story.
I did punch Nate.
I know.
And then I did the last thing with Michelle and I, which still caps off that storyline with Lily and me wanting to split the company. But it's the last scene that I ever did with Michelle.
Michelle Morgan,
yeah.
So it sounds to me like this wasn't a reel where we see you cry.
No.
This is what I like about what you're saying is this is a different look.
I mean, I've probably only had one reel where I cried. And I did not win for that. It was when Hillary died in my arms, and I did not win.
So good. Oh, right. The Hillary died in your arms did not win you an Emmy.
Did not, no. My other ones, and even, what's funny, even it wasn't funny, but on the day when we were filming, when I won for the episode for Christoph's, for Neil's funeral, I remember not being able to stop crying while we were taping that day. But then when it got to my time to go up and do my monologue, there were zero tears there. I remember it all kicked in to have to, perform, and I had nothing there. I was so disappointed that I had no tears for that. But
oh my gosh, what was it like for you, meeting Trevor as the new Tucker and starting that father-son relationship, to have to build that because you hadn't worked with him before?
No. I mean, it's been nothing but a joy from day one. From I did the screen test together, his audition, and he's one of the kindest people you could know, one of the most generous actors, and he is phenomenal, as he said. So I mean, it's so much fun to work with because he will give you something you don't expect every single time. All he cares about is trying to make the performance and the entire performance, everything better. And I've been learning from the first day he stepped on set.
I mean, did you see his movie?
I did see his movie. Absolutely. He co-wrote, directed, and starred in it.
I could not. That movie made me cry.
Yeah.
Could not believe how great he was in it.
He was.
No, I shouldn't say that. I already knew how great he is, but it was such a brilliant performance in that movie.
Yes. Please, if anybody has not seen it, please go and see it.
It's so great. So does the nomination, now that it's 11 nominations, does it mean any less or more?
Never. No, never at all. My gosh. Anytime that people in whatever industry that you're in, the people who you admire and look up to tell you that you're doing a good job, it means the world, and ever since my first day, I still feel like I did my first day on set, where every day I go to work, I try to make not only the daytime community proud, but, the Y&R family proud. I'm learning, and I continue to learn from people who've been doing this much longer than me and have made the show what it is. And it's to get any kind of recognition that I'm doing a good job, it's never taken lightly.
Paris Barnes says, just proves that Emmy reels don't have to be dramatic. Love that Bryton has so much love for Trevor. So true. So, I mean, I can't believe from where you begun, the young Devon, to now, and now being a mainstay on the show and everything. Do you look back at this now, and do you still have a story that you would like to do that you have never gotten a chance to play?
Sure.
What do you want to do?
We all have life and things in life that we've never done before.
Right. But what could you like, if you're like, oh, I just want to play this one time? Do you want to be like the bad twin?
I don't want to be a twin, but I wouldn't mind being bad. Devon started off not bad, but he was
street.
Huh?
Street? Was he a little street?
He was street, but he was angry, and he would, he was angry, and he was hurt. He was, not trusting, had a big chip on his shoulder. But I would like to, now that Devon has gotten past that, and he's always, he always tries. I know fans a lot of times think that he's so self-righteous and thinks that he always knows best, and he's just trying to be a good guy. He's just trying to, do right by people, and I would love to play the opposite. That's what all of our dreams are, right? To do the opposite, something that we've never gotten to sink our teeth into before.
Is it not true that it's your 20th anniversary next month?
It is, yeah.
What?
It is. Can you believe that, man?
Oh, I'm leaving.
Can you believe we met each other 20 years ago?
Like, what? I was just talking to Eric Martsolf, and like, oh yeah, well, I remember our New Passions, and we met. He's like, that was really long ago. And I'm like, oh yeah, now you're 20 years?
And you look the same.
I do not look the same.
How does that work?
I don't. You don't look.
I don't look the same.
I was working. You grew up. Now we have some people here. Joe is saying he still remembers the incredible scenes of Bryton and Jeannie Cooper when she was signing to him, saying that she loved him. Those scenes were so amazing. Can you talk to Joe and us about that? Working with Jeannie, and of course, at the time he could not hear.
That's right. Yeah, those scenes, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, took place in the recording studio, Devon's recording studio at the time. And I remember Jeannie sharing a story with me of her being witnessing one of the first times a real cochlear implant was turned on. I don't know the details of it, but I remember her sharing a story like that with me. And I mean, working with Jeannie with any storyline was a joy. She's a dream to work with. She's such a professional. She's the humor, the sense of humor she has is unmatched. But she's, you working with Jeannie, every time you step on stage, you learn. And it was like going to school.
But what happened when you found out that you were going to be related to Mrs. Chancellor?
I couldn't believe that. I never in a million years thought the writers would.
Who sat you down and said that to you? Did Jeannie?
No. It was whoever our head writer was at the time. I couldn't believe. No, Devon started off by sleeping on the floor of Victor Newman's office at the rec center. To go from that to being related to the Catherine Chancellor and now being a billionaire on the show, I never could have imagined.
Amazing. Devon was bad. Remember, Candace is saying he slept with Hillary, who was married to Neil at the time.
I mean, who isn't? If that makes someone bad, isn't everybody in Genoa City bad?
Good.
we wanted to tell him, we were going to tell him the truth. He went blind, and we didn't want to compound all that.
Right, but he had one up on you guys.
Oh yeah, by the way, they always say that everybody brings up what I did to him, but no one brings up the fact that Neil, he had me drugged by Colin so that he could fake me cheating on her, and then brought a tape on our honeymoon to show her, and then she fell off a cliff, and he kept her hostage for months, thought that she was dead. He did so much more. I wish he would have just slept with my ex. Or
Yeah,
with my
how
wife.
is that rate? Interesting. But oh my God, you bring up Christoph, who would be so thrilled to see you continually receiving the accolades. I know he was such a big supporter of you. I cannot tell you how many conversations I had with him about you. He really, really loved you, and how you had just become this, phenomenal actor.
It's very kind for you to say that, and I couldn't have left him anymore. He was I am here because he was there, and he took me under his wing like no other. And every day I go to work, I try to make him proud. I mean, we have pictures of him on all of our sets, and I step into his room every day. I go to work. I'm in his dressing room, and I've had it since. So it was a privilege to get to work alongside of him and know him and love him, and we all miss him every day.
I miss him so much. I had such wonderful conversations with him, and lunches with him, and plans we would make to do things. He was very with me. He wanted to do like creative outside projects.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. We were going to do a radio show. We were going to do this. We did a demo of this. We did a lot of things that never really, because he had his hands in a lot of different things, and some of them didn't come to fruition. But he always had this creative spirit with me, like, hey, Michael, blah 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 blah. So we did. I have some old demos I'll have to play you. I have a demo of a radio show.
Really?
That we were going to do together.
I would love to hear that. Did he know you did music?
I don't know. I feel like he did, but I don't know.
I'd love to hear that radio show.
I will. Now that you bring it, I will find the radio demo because we had fun, like riffing off each other. It was a weird pairing, but it kind of worked. So the other nominees in the category with you are familiar with their work.
You know what? To be completely honest, only Wally.
Wally.
Am I the one who's really familiar with? Yeah.
Right, because Mike Manning and A. Martinez are on the Bay.
Yes. Yeah, I don't get around to watching barely anything.
You know what? I don't either, actually, because you know why? I appreciate that. Because even though I'm covering television and streaming, do you know, as a journalist, you have to keep up with the stuff you're covering, right? So there isn't a moment where I can go, okay, I'm just going to go start watching The Crown now for 7. Like, I can't even find the time to do it. I know that's sacrilege that I haven't watched The Crown.
It's tough. It's very tough. But I mean, to be acknowledged and to be nominated at all, it's to be in the company of people who know what it takes to do what we do, and to be acknowledged in the same way. It's a great feeling, and best of luck to all of them.
Kat Harbin says Shelley Altman and Gene Passanante wrote the sign language storyline. Does that sound right to you?
I do not know. I don't recall.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So
actually, I know our head writer, I believe, was Lynn Latham at the time when I went deaf. I remember her coming to me and having me come to the office and letting me know that they were going to make my character deaf. I do.
Now, how are you liking having Crystal back? And she's got a bit of a tude now. And he's looking at her like, what's going on?
I mean, that's my sister. I in real life and on pretend. I love every second of sharing the stage with her. She's the most fun the most fun person I get to work with, because we know each other so well. And it's there's no one else I can play with really as much as I can with her on set and in scenes. And for Lily to have an attitude, that's the best Lily. I hope that they take her character somewhere different
Well,
too.
didn't she have a big attitude at one point too? She had a little bit.
Lily's always kind of has an attitude.
had
If
a little
things
bit
don't
of-
go Lily's way, she gets an attitude. That's, you know.
Fans want to see Alyssa saying fans want to see more, and me and my mom are huge fans of you, Bryton James,
Oh,
and we
thank you.
watch you every day and never missed an episode.
Thank you so very much for that. It's because of dedicated fans like you that we get to do you're the reason we get to do what we do. So we appreciate you.
I just want to quickly, we were all weighing in. What do you think about The Gates coming to CBS, a new soap opera?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We just had one of the producers, Sheila Ducksworth, come to the set and have a look at how we ran things. And I think, I mean, it couldn't be better. What it says for daytime in general and for soaps, we're obviously here to stay, and we're doing well.
I mean, I was like, okay, this is really happening. Yeah. And I love that it is centered around a Black, family in a prestigious, wealthy Black family. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I think it's going to be great. I think what our fan base reflects is only proof that they're going to have some success.
So in closing, are you gonna, I can't remember, do you like getting dressed up for Emmys, or do you hate that stuff?
I do. I like getting dressed up. I always wanted a job where I got to wear a suit every day, and now
I don't mind wearing a suit and getting glammed up in a suit, as long as I don't have to do it every day.
It does, but see, for me, it takes me all of maybe 5 minutes to get in a suit. So I don't do anything else. I shave my head every day anyway. I shower. I put a suit on.
It's not fun.
Huh?
Okay. Just wait till you're my age. It's not fun.
Oh,
but I do like getting, glammed up for a. All right, Bryton. It's so wonderful to talk to you. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to celebrate your 20th next month, and we can't wait to see you on upcoming episodes of The Young and the Restless. Is there anything we should be on the lookout for from Devon here?
From Devon? Ooh. Be on the lookout for some shakeups in the family business.
Okay, so people are going to be thrown out.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Okay, I said it.
Look out for some shakeups in the family business.
I'm just saying shakeups thrown out. Okay.
Well,
Yeah. All right. All right. Have a great one.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Coming on
I
tonight.
appreciate you all the time.
All right. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. We are waiting to see if Lindsay Gottfried makes it with us. I think she had a slight emergency, so I don't know if she'll be with us yet. I wanted to ask you guys that are with us tonight, of the Daytime Emmy nominations today, who were you most thrilled that did receive a nomination? I don't know why this white thing. Who were you most thrilled to see received a nomination? A lot of the people, if they're not on the show tonight, I put the show together in today. There's nothing planned about this. From the minute the nominations come out to now, we are working on trying to get the guests to come on. And of course, a lot of them have plans for the evening and all of that. So if some of your favorites aren't on, it's probably because they had other plans this evening. We probably have them on either in an article or a subsequent interview, though, in the coming weeks. Talk about writing. Mike Manning is coming on. He will be here with us, and Finola Hughes will be with us. They will be the next few guests that we have. Thrilled about Brooke getting a nomination. Jeff is thrilled about Catherine Kelly Lang getting a nomination. She never gets recognized. I was pretty thrilled about Catherine getting recognition as well. Neighbors. You know what's really interesting about the Neighbors thing? So I don't know if you guys saw, I did an interview with 4 of the stars of Neighbors late last year. I had the best time talking with them. It was really great to get their take and how similar it is to US soap operas. But Neighbors is eligible because of the way that the Daytime Emmys now does streaming shows, can compete with daytime drama shows on a network. So because they're on Amazon Freevee, they're able to do it. Joe, yes, Eric Braeden, first time in 20 years. Wow, how great is that he received an Emmy nomination 20 years since his last one. I know Eric has been very, very happy, and we will have an interview with Eric coming up in the next week or so. Marianne, happy to see Wally Kurth nominated again. I was too. I do know that I do remember the scenes on Days of Our Lives that I'm assuming he submitted, where when at the time Justin learned that he thought Alex wasn't his son. And there was those great scenes with Rob Scott Wilson and him, which I think is part of it. Eric Martsolf, Marianne, yes, great. Robert Gossett receiving another nomination. He's already won 2 Daytime Emmys. He received another supporting actor nomination, and he won last year in the category. So it was great to see that he also got a nomination for General Hospital. So many people with Finola Hughes being nominated. I totally agree. Cynthia Watros, I totally agree. Jay Webb, I'm thrilled Ashley Jones was nominated for the first time in a long time, and I'm rooting for Wally and Cynthia too. Ashley Jones back on B&B is a guest performer when she hasn't been on the show full time. Sherry, shocked Sophia Matson was snubbed. Her scenes were phenomenal last year. Again, we don't know what reel she submitted, but Sophia Matson was fantastic. AE saying Robert Gossett is his pick for outstanding supporting actor this year. Kat Harbin is saying Martsolf. So those were your favorites this year. It was an interesting year to see. DL Bridges, shock. Colleen Zank wasn't nominated. Candace, you already know this is my 3rd favorite time of the year with the Daytime Emmys. Yes, it is. And Dick Van Dyke being nominated as outstanding guest star. I loved Dick Van Dyke as Timothy Robichaux. I remember watching those scenes. I was in tears. He was so good with Drake Hogeston in those scenes. Freeman Stand By on the Cynthia Watros. John Sipe, Guy Pearce. How exciting is that? Guy Pearce, who played Mike on Neighbors, years later came back and did kind of like a guest stint on the reboot and has received a nomination. It's really interesting. It's like Eric Braeden, Dick Van Dyke, Guy Pearce, all kind of legendary names in television. Jeff R. shocked Kimberlyn Brown, got snubbed. We don't know what the reel was. But I'm about to bring on our guest. Hello.
There we go.
Hi, Finola.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for being here. It wouldn't be an Emmy nomination special without you.
I
was like, it has to have Finola. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So tell me what your reaction was to the news when you found out you were nominated. And in this category with your buddy Michelle and this.
I know it's the ladies. Yeah.
Ladies.
We called each other last night and we were talking about dresses, and actually I heard you say Sophia. Yes. And we were talking about Sophia, and it's a real shame she didn't get nominated today. I thought she was
sensational
last year. Yeah, I really did. And both Michelle and I were talking about her. So anyway, we know how great she is. So
we all know how great she is. I mean, she had put herself through so much. They just piled everything onto this character.
Yeah.
It's a lot to do. With Anna, what scenes did you submit this year? And why did you go there? And why were these the picks?
Well, let me think now. As usual, I left it till the very last minute.
But did you throw the scripts in the closet?
Yes. That whole thing. And actually they were getting overheated, I realized, because they were on top of my small refrigerator. And I realized when I took them out, I was like, oh, that's probably a fire hazard. I won't do that next year now. So yes. So note to self, ABC, I've figured it out. So yeah.
Okay. So they go in there, the scripts you like.
We're on fire. I think, and so Michelle Henry, who's one of our amazing producers, was very, very strict with me and said, you've got 24 hours. So I was like, well, I can't watch them, but I think I know what I want. And so I think it was when it was the Charlotte, the whole Charlotte shooting and the accident and that whole thing. So it was really that, and that talking about that with Sunny, and then a bit of a breakup, maybe, I think, and and then finding out that Valentine had lied. So I think it was all around. It was that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Although everybody's seeing here, oh, I hope it was the Charlotte. Said Anna dealing with shooting Charlotte might be on the reel. Anna confronted Valentine. Hi, Queen Finola. Congratulations. It's truly dearest to select from all your outstanding scenes from last year. Who helped you put the reel together?
Michelle Henry. Yes, Michelle Henry. And yeah, it was her. It was our one. We have these amazing producers. They're sort of the unsung heroes. You know, they're in the booth all day when we're shooting, and they just they do this wonderful thing as well, where they earmark something, you know, if they think that it's been a good performance. So they just have this sort of little list. And anyway, so that's how that worked with Michelle.
Now, you've had some string of nominations here. Do you think they're writing more for your strengths in the last several years?
I think yes.
I believe they are, in my opinion.
And I think it's even become stronger, you know, recently, and I think starting sort of last year, things, you know, I think maybe everybody kind of, or maybe myself, you know, I think writers really very much take the lead sometimes from an actress or an actor who's going through something or moving through something in their life, and maybe they were just seeing, you know, different layers and colors, and so started to write to that. I'm not sure, but it certainly felt like I've had some things that I could really that resonated with me, you know. Yeah.
Well, what I loved about it is they're very complex Anna things. Like
great. I do well with complex.
You do. And like she's wrestling with herself over stuff in her past and her this and the double agent and her guilt and her this. And I mean, there's just so much of her that I love how you play some of these stories, because it feels very complex and messy for her.
I like messy.
Yeah.
I do.
So what did you think about when you saw Cynthia Wantros is in the category with you?
Yes.
And Michelle and Catherine Kelly and Annika Noel, and it's like
Annika I don't know very well, actually, but Catherine,
wonderful work.
That's what I hear. Yes, and so but she sent me a lovely message, and Catherine Kelly Lang, I reached out to. Tamara reached out to me, so yeah, it's really going to be a very nice group because we all know each other so well. And then of course Michelle and I just got on the phone last night.
Well, she told me tonight, I asked her, I said, are you going to go shopping with Finola? So
what did she say?
She didn't really answer.
Well, because last night I specifically said something to her about dresses. And
I said, if you guys go shopping together, please put it on video so we can get a taste of going along with you guys.
You should actually. Or, I know where I'm going to go as well.
Okay.
I just...
You know that whenever I did the fashion review over the years, you were always in the top 5 or number 1. We always had you way up there. So you do like the fashion of it, right?
Oh my God. I live for it.
You live for it.
I'm as shallow as that. I might play someone complex on television, but I'm
shallow in real life.
super shallow. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you go by the trends? Like, do you watch trends, or do you just kind of go what you
I
think?
do like the trends, I must say. I do like trends. I think I have to, I don't know. I do like trends. I really like the fact that the sleeve is having a big moment right now since after Poor Things. I think that sort of
Right, from Poor Thing.
sent it into the stratosphere, and I think sleeves was a big thing. Was that my time up?
Oh no, my phone went off. Sorry.
Like, oh, and she's out.
No, you're not out at the phone. Sorry.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what I'm gonna wear. But Michelle is really good with clothes, so I'll probably go. I'll ask.
Talking about, is it easy? Like, can you just throw anything on and it looks good on you?
No. That's why we have this unbelievable wardrobe master, Sean. And yeah, because we put things on and we both look in the mirror and we're like, no. Nah. Yeah, I can't, because things can swamp me a little bit sometimes. I'm only 5'5". I'm not Michelle. Michelle can wear anything.
She can wear anything because she's tall. Anything.
Yes.
Now, Freeman is telling me it has been 33 years since you won your last Emmy. What? This whole show's making me very old for no. They're like, you 33, Eric this, sure. I mean, it's been that long?
Yes, it is. Yes, somebody asked me today, actually, and I was like, oh, I don't remember.
I remember. Oh
it's
my
33
God.
years.
Unbelievable. So now, if you were to win this, this would be an amazing. I mean, we've watched you in the last few years just give great performances. I keep writing up about your power performances. Like every few months, I've got a great Anna scene.
Thank you.
Do you think you're a better actress now than when you were like even 10 years ago?
I have no idea. I don't know. I know I don't know. It feels like a game of golf always for me, because I get on set. Like today I was doing some work this morning and I just doubt myself. I walk on there and I'm like, oh gosh, and did I really bring it? And I do think I'm harder on myself now than I was when I was younger, because I really didn't know what I was doing at all. I was just kind of.
Which is shocking.
Huh?
That's shocking because you were so good from the get-go.
I wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. It's a very hard question to answer. I feel like it's different. I feel like I'm constantly in battle with myself as to whether something works or not. Yeah.
Kelly's asking, who will help you write your victory speech?
No, I don't.
Would you write a speech, or would it just come out?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't write a speech. No.
You would just wing it, whatever.
Probably yes. Look, it's honestly at this point in my life, I really have. I just find the whole thing so encouraging and extraordinarily sort of affirming and sweet and lovely and extraordinary to even be acknowledged. I really do. And that's the truth. It's I just like to do my work, and it's very nice if anyone thinks that it's watchable, and fun, whatever it is.
Now, currently, she's taking a harder edge with Sunny. There's been a shift.
Yes, that's been really interesting.
Which has been interesting to watch you play. And I was like, how are they going to navigate this when she really was friends with Sunny?
I know.
And taking it back like, I'm the police, I can't do this kind of thing.
I was talking about this with Steve, and we actually were working today, and we found like this level between the two of us when it comes to Sunny, and it was just really like another whole level as to what I'm doing, and And I think what's happened is people's roles in Port Charles are becoming delineated, you know, where there's less gray. It's like we're sort of moving into areas, right? All of us. And that's kind of great, because then you've got the hospital, you've got the police station, you've got the mob, you've got the Quartermains, and you've got the nightclub, you know, you've got Donnell's nightclub, Curtis's nightclub. And so that there's these areas, and I think it's great. And then your character becomes very specific. And so therefore you would do certain things, you know, you just like I had those scenes with Jeannie the other day, and it makes sense that we're sort of waking up, because unfortunately Sonny's going through something which we don't know about, but he's not behaving well. And he's, you know, and so therefore we're sort of going, oh, if he would do that, then we need to wake up to maybe he's always been like that. But it's not true, because he hasn't always been like that. So it's just.
But I love what you said. You can tell with the new writers that they are making definitive, like you're on this side, you're like, it's not gray. It doesn't seem like it.
No, but we still deal in the gray.
Dealing
We
with
still talk about the gray, or we search for the gray in ourselves, I think, which is interesting. And then we have to make a decision. Well, where do you stand? Who are you actually? And I think posing those questions to the actual characters is kind of interesting.
Oh, so sorry.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. I was going to just say, Finola, Sandy always is asking, and I know this, Finola teaches a class at USC, and it's amazing. Can you just tell everybody about what you're doing at USC?
Yeah. Maybe I should switch this light on. I'm not sure if I'm too dark here, but yeah, I teach. It's at USC. It's for the MFA program, the 4-year program. I just teach in the final year, and it's performance for camera. And we really just talk about, you know, we really do scenes, and we, you know, talk about what it's like to be on set, and camera work, you know. So it's great. And they shoot a film in that last year, each one of them. And they're incredibly talented. I've had a couple of amazing groups of kids come through, very talented kids. So yeah, it's lovely.
And do you just give you a thrill to do it? Do you like the process of doing this?
Oh, I love it. I love the process.
Oh my gosh.
I love all of it. I love the kids. I love what we do. I like using cameras. I like it all. You know?
Now, will you direct more films soon?
I've got 2 finished, and they're out. They've both been submitted to festivals. The one I did with Cassandra James, who's on General Hospital, got accepted to Atlanta this weekend. It goes up for the first time. So that's our premiere. And then Darling has been submitted to, where did we submit it? To Gina Davis's
company.
Yeah, we'll see, and we've, you know, submitted to other places, so we'll see.
What is the name of the Cassandra James film?
Claude. Yeah, Claude.
What was it like working with her?
Fantastic. I love her. Yeah, we get on great. You know, she cooks dinner. She's a very good cook. So I go to her house for dinner a lot. Yeah. So yeah, it's wonderful. She's wonderful, and she's just so lovely on our show. And I just really enjoyed it. And it was a very fantastic concept. She and her roommate, they wrote this beautiful concept about dating. And it's seen through the eyes of her toy bunny that sits on her bed. And it's really beautiful. And yeah, it's great. So I'm very proud of that one. And then Darling is also a female-driven story about two women that meet in a motel, actually, and what they discuss there. I find that very interesting too. So.
Now, who's going to be the man in her life, Anna's life? Is it?
Oh, well,
where are you thinking here?
Well, I want to do some more stuff with James. Obviously, James and I text all the time about how we're not working together, and so I hope. But we all know what he's up to. I don't. Anna doesn't quite know.
I can't believe what he's up to. Talk about taking a character and putting him in a direction. I was like, what?
It's good. It's kind of like if anybody can carry it off.
It's him.
Yeah.
It's him. It's great. But I was originally thinking, is Adam Harrington and Finola Hughes going to be together?
Oh, I know. I love Adam. He's so wonderful.
He seems like a great addition to the cast.
He's fabulous. And also Charles Major.
Charles Major is wonderful too.
Fabulous. So the two of them, and Carly, I mean, obviously Laura has been working too with the two of them as well. And they're both in love with Carly. So what can
they're
I do?
all in love with Carly.
I'll take the leftovers, but I'll keep. I'm hoping that I get to play Valentine.
Well, Kelly here is saying, I hope Anne and Valentine get back together after she clobbers him for his misbehavior.
Well, he's gone down. The thing that's interesting is that he's a Cassadine. His father has now passed on. So it's sort of left this, like he's at the front of the wagon of the Cassadines. So it's almost, it's in his blood. So I don't know. I don't know what they'll do.
I know. I was like, okay, because I thought maybe they were bringing in Jagger for Anna, but I'm clearly wrong.
I don't know. He's I don't know. He's a very lovely person, and I love working with him. He's great.
So how many ladies' luncheons have you been to now?
Oh, I'm not sure. There's one I missed. I was very sad I missed. That was a few years ago. I think I was actually working and I just didn't make it there.
So this would be Jacqueline McGinnis Wood taking the 6.
Yeah, it's Jackie, yeah.
Which would be really amazing.
I've been to a couple of lunches with her actually. So that's awesome.
What is your family's reaction when you tell them you're an Emmy nominee? Do they have a reaction? What goes on there?
Actually, this is the first year that I actually went out and told them before I sort of, oh wait, if I turn up my computer, that's better. Now I have a little bit more
light.
My computer. I'm so technically unsavvy. Yes, we've just shot 3 days of a very big event on the show, and I was really tired yesterday, and I was sort of laying down, pretending to take a nap, which I never can in the middle of the day anyway. But and Frank called me to say that we'd been nominated, Cynthia and myself, and so I actually got up and I walked outside, and my 3 kids were sort of wandering around doing teenage stuff. And I sort of told each of them individually. I was like, I got nominated, and it was. They were really, it was nice. They actually said congratulations.
They took it in, and
it resonated through the haze of online extravaganzas and online.
Do they know that their mom is Finola Hughes? I don't.
That does it. Well, they know my name at this point, thankfully. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when they get older if they look at the body of work. Now,
not gonna happen. No.
So they're not going into show business.
If I did a, what are they called? These games that they play. What are they called? Video game. If I was a voice in a video game.
Oh, they'd love you. You'd be.
Man, I've gone up for enough of those auditions, and every time I'm like, you
Oh,
know,
you'd be great in those though.
I know, as one of those big queens or something, like as a queen of somewhere or other with a British accent.
Emily O'Brien. You know Emily, who's
Yes,
she does those video games. And she has
yes. James has done them, I think. And
James did
actually,
too.
I've got a feeling somebody else has done something on the show. I can't remember. I heard somebody saying I'm the voice of something or other. I can't remember. It's gone out of my head, but yeah.
Well,
I know. And I went up for a really big one like a few years ago, and I told my son, and he was like, "Oh my God, if you get that, Mom," and I didn't.
oh shoot! It's like, oh my God, if you get that, Mom, I'll think you're really cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was the entire sentence.
Right.
Yeah, but
there's
that ship sailed.
There's a question about working with Steve Burton. How is it having him back?
Oh my God. It's so great. It's so great. I mean, it's like, I just love it. I love it. He's so present and so, yeah.
And Joe keeps asking about, they think your next chapter is being in a reality TV show on Bravo. Like would you ever do something like that?
Like, what would it be?
I don't know. Real Housewives of London? Like, what are they talking about? Like,
would you? Real Housewives of London? Yeah, but I have to have a husband, I think, because that is in the
time. You have to have like some kind of husband with like some bad past.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, exactly. He's got to be like 1 foot in prison, and but well, I guess that I don't have that. So, no, I don't think I could do. I don't think I could believe it of myself. Do you know what I mean? Like when they get mad and they throw a glass of champagne, and I would just laugh because I don't lose my temper like that. I find that very funny. Like when anybody loses their temper, I unfortunately laugh. It's because I think it makes me nervous, and so I just laugh. Unless I'm playing Anna, and then I do get mad. But
right, so if you were at a table with a bunch of Real Housewives and they threw drinks, you'd be laughing at them as they threw the drinks in
as they up the table. I would just, I just think it's very funny.
And it is very funny, and
that's why we watch. It is very funny, but I couldn't do it myself because I wouldn't be able to take it seriously.
I got you.
But me and my son, we watch all those dating shows. We watch Dating Island,
Island,
Love Island. I got text. Oh, I've got text. I love it. I love Love Island. It's brilliant. But it has to be the English one so that I could say, at the end of the day, people are people. That's what they say all the time.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people are
people. You got to have the chat.
Kelly is saying the Real Housewives of Port Charles.
Yes.
All right.
Again.
Finola, thank you so much for coming by. It was so lovely to talk to you. And congratulations on another well-deserved Daytime Emmy nomination.
Well, thank you so much.
See you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mike Manning.
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Go home. Last nominee of the night.
There we go. All right, let's do it.
Ending with you. Thank you for being here. This is becoming a kind of regular thing. You get Emmy nominations.
Yeah. Who knew? Who would have thought that this would have been my experience with daytime TV?
So what happened today? How did you find out you were nominated? And what was your reaction?
Yeah, so I found out, I woke up to a bunch of text messages. I just finished shooting a movie in Joshua Tree where the last week were overnight shoots. So I'm officially nocturnal. I'm up at night and sleeping during the day. And so I slept in today. So I didn't know. Yesterday was my first day back in a month home. So I slept in today. And so I had no idea. And I wake up to like 35 text messages from people. And they're just saying, congratulations. Nobody's giving me any context. It's all congratulations, congratulations. I'm like, what happened? And then Gregory called me, the showrunner for The Bay, And he called me and he's like, who have you talked to? And I said, nobody. What? And he goes, I wanted to be the first one to tell you you're nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's amazing. I truly did not expect it. So it was a nice surprise.
It was so nice. And I have a lot of people with me wishing you happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I can't see you, but thank you. Thank you for that.
George
Yeah.
and Candace Mack, Mike Freeman, DL Bridges, they're all wishing you happy birthday a few days late.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
So are you really old now?
Yeah, I'm super old. I'm so old that I had trouble getting on this
Yeah.
Zoom. No.
Did you do it? So you didn't do anything fun for your birthday then? You were working?
Yeah, no, I was working. I've been in Joshua Tree the whole time, and my birthday was the one day off that I had. So I did basically just go hiking in the desert, and that was my day off. But I am going to do something this coming weekend, like next weekend.
Okay. Now, talk to me about what scenes you received this nomination for as Caleb on the Bay. What was on the reel?
So I think the reason that I'm nominated this season is because my reel opened up with basically I'm standing there. It's the middle of the night, and Eric Nelson plays Daniel Garrett, one of the series regulars on the show. And then I sort of entered the show in season 5 as his love interest. And then season 6, you see our relationship taken to the next level. And then we get married at the end of season 6. And then there's season 7, he's sort of kidnapped and he's taken by some really dangerous people to Puerto Rico. And then I go to try to find him. And then in season 8, we sort of deal with the aftermath of his torture, PTSD, everything else. And so I truly have to say that, like, the material that I was given to work with in season 8 was great. And I think the reason that I was nominated is because my reel in season 8 starts with me standing there. It's the middle of the night. I'm in like a t-shirt and my boxers, and I'm just staring at Daniel, Eric Nelson's character, Daniel. And I'm just sort of, you can see that I am trying to find a way in. Caleb, my character, trying to find a way in, trying to be there for this person that he loves, and he just doesn't know how to do it. And he walks over to the bed and he just like gets on his knees and he just basically pours his heart out and says, look, I don't know what you went through, but I'm here for you. And please just like, don't shut me out. Like, the hardest part about this whole thing is that you're holding all this grief. You're not sharing this grief. You're not letting me carry this grief. And I think that was the scene that people connected with. I broke down. I cried all over the place, which we always love in daytime. And I can honestly say that it was probably some of my best acting on the Bay, just because Eric and I have such a great chemistry because we've been working together for so long now, and he's such a great actor, and it's very easy to just drop in and get lost in the scene with him. And that's what we did.
I mean, you getting to play the vulnerability of that, with the tears and all that. Do you ever have fear like, oh, am I going too far with this? Or do you just let it happen and then you watch it back and you're like, oh, this was good?
Yeah. I kind of just, I don't like to plan too much.
Yeah.
I like to just sort of slip the character on like a jacket and just live in the character. And then when they yell action, I just kind of see whatever happens. And I used to, if I'm being honest with you, I used to sort of regulate myself a little bit more. I used to be scared of that because I started in theater, and I think a lot of theater actors, when they start doing film and television, they're told, oh, you're too big, you're too this, you're too that. And for whatever reason, I always had that in my head. So I think that I was sort of putting guardrails up for myself for a while. And it was actually my time on Days of Our Lives with Tamara, seeing some of those scenes and watching that back and being like, watching myself explode on her and go crazy on her, that I was like, wow, I can actually let it rip, and it actually is still believable, and it's still in line with the character and the story and what's going on. And so I think that show definitely helped me remove some of those guardrails. And then, like I said, season 8 of The Bay, they definitely gave me material where I could just go for it. And then we also shot in Italy for a little bit. So we shot we shot in this place called Terracina, this little fishing town, and it was beautiful. It was fantastic. And in those scenes, they were all flashbacks that were incorporated into season 8, and you get to know my character a little bit more and what he went through before moving to Bay City. And that was a lot of fun, because then who doesn't like a good backstory? So I feel like audiences enjoyed connecting with that. And I think that in those moments, Caleb was going through things that I personally have gone through in my life. So it was easy for me to connect with him and connect to those scenes and that character. So I think those were, I feel like if there was, if people are like, oh, that was good acting, I think it that would have been because that was based on truth as well. I mean, luckily, I've never had somebody in my life kidnapped and tortured in Puerto Rico.
Thank goodness. I would be.
Yeah. Knock on whatever we need to knock on. But I think also, like, in our lives, I mean, why do audiences watch TV? Why do we watch movies? Because we want to connect. And I think audiences, regardless of where you're from or who you love, I think that we all know what it feels like to want to protect those that we love and want to fix things when we see those around us hurting. And I truly wanted to, in that moment, to help Eric's character, Daniel, and Caleb did. And I think that's why people connected to those scenes, and why I wasn't afraid to just let the emotion be what it was.
Well, we started the show tonight with your former TV mom, Tamara Braun.
Oh, Tamara, I love Tamara.
Like, oh my God, I loved working with Mike Manning. I'm so excited he got nominated. So there's such love of her from her for you. So I love that we started the show and we ended the show, and we've got the ex-mom and son on Days of Our Lives. But talk to me about working with Tamara, because she's one of the greatest, really, to kind of.
Yeah, Tamara is truly remarkable. She's such a lovely person through and through. She's beautiful on the outside. She's beautiful on the inside. She really took me under her wing when I jumped into Salem. And there were some really emotional scenes that we tackled together. And I don't think that I would have been able to do as good of a job if she wasn't so giving and so such just like a calming presence. And we've definitely stayed close afterwards. I mean, she's such a great person, and she texted me today. She said, "Congratulations, son. It seems like it's like a family affair. This is great."
Yeah, it was so cute.
Yeah,
you guys, it was so cute. Freeman Griffin here is saying about the scenes you mentioned on the Bay. The scene was his best work, truly phenomenal, so vulnerable and so heartrending.
Thank you. Thank you.
I loved Mike's win a few years ago. So glad he got to accept in person. He won for the Bay. He gave a great acceptance speech. Well, I also agree that your acceptance speech was the highlight of the night. It was the most real, honest, beautiful thing. And I was there. It was beautiful. And I think it meant so much to so many people, Mike. Like, I think it really helped people,
Thank you. Thank you. I don't, thank you, Freeman. And thank you, Michael.
This is all the compliments we're giving you today.
I know. What do I do with it? I just gotta say, like, creating, I get to do what I love. I get to create art. I get to put it out into the world, and I cross my fingers that people like it. And the fact that I get to, on the Bay, portray a character like Caleb, who is vulnerable and wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's just a good person. And I think that they gave me a lot of good stuff to work with this season, and I just hope that I do it justice. I hope we're going into season 9. I hope I do that justice. And so, thank you.
Does your husband watch your work, and does he think you're any good?
Wouldn't it be awkward if I said no and no? I think, I mean,
what their families and spouses are think of them. So
yeah. I mean, okay. So if I'm being honest with you, yes, sometimes he doesn't, but he's very honest, almost to a fault. Like, there have been times where I'll bring him to a premiere and we'll be walking out, and whether it's my movie or a friend's movie, and we'll be walking out, and he's like, I didn't really like that. I'm like, shut up, the director is right there. Shut up. And so I mean, he's gotten better at it. But
you're the more reserved one.
I'm not reserved. I'm just
not reserved.
I mean, I think I'm just not gonna.
You think twice before you speak?
Yeah, I think before I speak is what I do, and I'm not dishonest, but there's also a way to go about. It takes a village to make a movie or make a show, and you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings right out of the gate. You want to tell them what you liked about it before you punch them in the gut and say that their character had no arc or whatever you're going to say. I don't know, but also it's kind of nice. It's a breath of fresh air. I think that sometimes in Hollywood people can be the pendulum swings the other way. They're too self-congratulatory, or they're fake about liking something when they don't really like it. So it is truly a breath of fresh air when I can always go to him and say, so what'd you really think? And I know that he'll give me his honest answer, good or bad.
Did he watch this reel that got you an Emmy nomination?
He did, and he said that it was really, really good. And he also too, when I was making suggestions for how I wanted the reel to look, and I had different scenes to choose from, he was like, Mike, you should definitely showcase this because this is some of your best work on the Bay. And I said, okay.
Isn't that nice though?
It is nice. It never happens. I have to pull compliments out of him like I'm the dentist doing a root canal.
Important information for us to know. We're going to have to pull it out, yank it out of him.
It is. And my love language is like words of affirmation and physical touch. And so it doesn't really,
yeah. You are writing, your name is everywhere. Are you not writing a big film right now?
Yeah, I wrote a film that we are doing with Anthony Hopkins.
Which I did a big news item on because I couldn't believe it's how fantastic. The minute I saw this, I'm like, wait, Mike Manning is writing this film with Anthony Hopkins. What? Like,
yeah. I mean, he's such a legend. And the fact that it was one of those things where we made the offer and I didn't think it was going to happen. It was kind of like a pie in the sky. Okay, let's just send this out into the universe and see what happens. And he said yes. And overnight, my life changed. And now I'm like, holy shit, we're doing this movie with Anthony Hopkins.
Have you met him?
Yes, met him. And he's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
And when will this happen? When is the shooting?
I can't say anything. I know I want to so bad. It's been.
I was just again. I was like, okay, wait. Like, so he writes, produces, does this. Like, this is fantastic to be someone at your age to be doing all these things. Good on you, because that's the way you build a career, right? Like, you have your hands in more than one thing. I think so many of us, you can only do one thing. And it's great that you have an interest to do multiple things in the entertainment industry.
Thank you. I don't know. I love telling stories. I love creating things, and I get very excited about things and just jump in and start doing them. And it was actually the pandemic that gave me the time to start writing. I had written a handful of scripts, but I didn't really trust myself to send them out into the world. And so during the pandemic, I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a few of these scripts as good as I can make them. And then I sent one that we produced that just came out actually in March called Powder Pup, and it's a Lionsgate family film.
Right, with Ashton
Arbab, yeah. So
yeah.
So we cast Ashton in that, and I co-wrote that with the director Ari Novak, and that was, and then Lionsgate ended up.
Don't you play not a nice guy in that?
Yeah, I play not a nice guy.
You're an asshole in that.
I am an asshole in that. Well, and I didn't want to be the asshole. I actually wrote myself the nice guy part, and then the director Ari, while we were packaging it and casting it and everything else together, he said, "Hey, Mike, in Cloud 9, the Disney movie, didn't you play the bad guy?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I think it'd be fun if you're the bad guy in this one." I said, "No, I don't want to be the bad guy. I'm trying to move on from that." And then he talked me into it, so I ended up being the bad guy. Yeah. My little niece. I have a little niece, my sister's daughter, they watched it together, and at the end of the movie, she said that she was mad at. She calls me Uncle Mikey, but like Uncle Mikey, and she's like, I'm mad at Uncle Mikey because I lock a dog up in the movie, and I think that's
that's bad.
Yeah, you can't cross that line.
Cross that line. I was going to say A. Martinez is nominated in the category with you from the Bay. He's a Daytime Emmy winner. You obviously know A.
I love A.
I love A. My guy, like years, the best.
He's such a class act. He's just he's one of those guys that just has so much power just by sitting there and doing nothing. He just has such a presence about him. And in the beginning, when I first met him, I was a little intimidated. I was like, who is this guy? He's not even making conversation with me. We're sitting waiting for a scene to go up. And then the more I get to know him, the more I'm just like, wow, he doesn't have to try. He's just himself. He's just so powerful and has such this cool, like this magnetic personality that he's really cool. He's like a calming effect.
He's very impactful, and he chooses his words well, and he's very impactful. And I will tell you a quick story. So A. Martinez was so brilliant on Santa Barbara. Like Cruz Castillo Santa Barbara was the guy, like in the late 80s, 90s.
Okay.
He was nominated for the Emmys a couple times. And at the time I was working for Dick Clark Productions. I was producing the Daytime Emmys. So I would be doing the clip packages, and I'd pick, what scenes they would air. And I remember I just knew in my gut A was going to win this, and he wouldn't believe me. And I came up to him at the start of the show. I said, you're good. You're going to win this. He wouldn't believe me, but he won. So we always felt I was his good luck charm. That
there you go.
Remembers me from that night. And we bonded for that forever. And I've loved him ever since. I mean, he's just been such a great man. And
he's a great guy. Well, then if you don't say that to me this time around, say that to A. If it's not me, but I also, I mean, there's so many great nominees. I'm just happy to be among the group.
It's great. You did such a great job on these scenes. They're amazing. All right. Well, I guess you guys have some stuff to do tonight. I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, celebrate a little bit.
Celebrate your nominations. Thank you so much. I will see you soon.
Thank you so much, Michael.
All right.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this last almost 3 hours of the 2024 Daytime Emmy Nominations Special. You can watch the replay of this. It will be up right away, and it will stay up on the Michael Fairman Channel. This is the beginning of the ride for the 51st Annual Daytime Emmy Awards, which will be on June 7th, live on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your participation. Love you guys. Make sure to subscribe to the Michael Fairman Channel for more celebrity features, interview shows, and more to come. Much love, and I'll see you hopefully at the Emmys. Bye-bye.